Are we live? All right, we're live, guys. UFC 322, Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev. I'm your host, Chicks by Pegasus. I'm here with Dravy, Key 3 Picks, and then special guest PepeSilvia. Pepe, thanks for joining us again. I'm not sure if you guys, the viewers, what you guys are seeing.
No, it's okay.
It's gone now?
On the viewer only, not us.
Oh, all right. Well, you guys could deal with it. I don't know what's good with that. Something about preview vertical broadcast. It's screwing our shit up. But Pepe, thanks for joining us.
Hell yeah. I'm fucking excited for this card. Probably one of the best cards of the year. And always happy to break down fights with you guys. Hopefully we can come up with some solid spots for this weekend.
Yeah. All right. I totally agree. We'll just start this card. We'll just get right into it, honestly. I mean, it's probably one of the better pay-per-views we've had this year. Let's see here. All right. Vyacheslav Borshev versus Mateusz Camilo. Camilo was supposed to fight Al Sawahabi or whatever his name was, Sawadi, 2 weeks ago in Abu Dhabi. Now he's fighting here in MSG. Vyacheslav Borshev, I mean, who knows what he's thinking, to be honest. Line on these two gentlemen, you get Borshev plus 135. You can get Mateusz Camilo plus or minus 155. Pepe, you're the guest. I'm going to have you go first here. I mean, it seems like everyone's rushing to fade Borshev, but Camilo kind of looks ass on tapes. Do you disagree?
No, I don't really disagree. It's a hard fight to feel good about and to have a good read. I feel like a lot of it is kind of guesswork when it comes to Camilo. His opposition pre-UFC wasn't the greatest. He hasn't had many stellar performances where he sold me on like this kid is the truth or whatever. He has some nice physical attributes clearly, and he's 24 training in Vegas. So you have to think that he's improving. But he's just never proved anything to me personally for me to get behind him at Juice. He dropped the ball huge in his UFC debut against Gabe Green, gave up that submission quite easily. Gabe Green is solid for sure, but not something that I would feel comfortable backing at Juice in his next fight. I get that Borshev doesn't present any of the same issues, but Borshev has fought the way better level of competition. His striking is solid. His losses are respectable, so to speak. So I wouldn't be surprised with anything, honestly, in this fight. So I'm just going to sit back, relax, and try to get a better read on Camilo from here.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I have no interest in taking this fight. I mean, maybe Camilo finds the sub. It's relatively easy to sub Vyacheslav, but I have no interest. What do you think, Drav? You like the under by chance?
I don't think it's easy to sub Borshev. He has shown really good submission defense in the past. I know McKinney got him, but no, actually. So, yeah, never mind. I was checking the stream on my cell phone and something weird happened with the double screen. Yeah, I think it's fine. Yeah, so watching this fight is just Borshev is washed to me. That's the issue, is because if he was not washed, I think he will be the side at this price, right? But they're banking into the line that he's washed and declining. Like his chin is getting worse by day. Takedown defense never been great. BJJ never been great, but to his credit, he's very tough, and he's a really good striker. The problem I have with Camilo is I think he's solid. I like his calf kicks. I like his physique. Peg, mute yourself, bro.
Sorry about that. I'm texting.
But yeah, so the way I look at it, I think he has more upside in the matchup. I think he could just bong Borshev, and I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. And I think that if he get on top, he could potentially submit him. He has a good triangle off his back. I'll give him that. So he goes for it. What I don't like is he's slowed down, and the opposite of Borshev, he can be a quitter at time, I feel like, Camilo. But he's very young, and he's gonna be improving from now. So I like the younger guy in that type of matchup where I think he has more upside. But yeah, he's not the type of guy I want to back at minus money, especially because Borshev is more durable, he's chinny, but he's very tough, and I think he's very skilled in the striking. So I would not be surprised if Borshev survived round 1 and then started to start on this guy. But I'm curious to know what he's going to have to say. Borshev used to be your boy, so you think he's done, or he has one more in him?
He's still my boy. I think that he's washed. It is what it is. His durability, I mean, is completely gone at this stage. I have zero interest in betting this fight. Maybe some Slava live, depending on how this looks. I know Mateus, everybody was talking about on that Abu Dhabi fight week. Everybody was talking about his deviated septum surgery and how his cardio is going to look better, blah, blah, blah. But I agree with Pepe, and it feels like it's guesswork a lot of the way with Camilo. So for me personally, it's a pass on this fight. Pick-wise, I'll side with my boy just out of being a fan, but I think that sadly his durability is completely gone. It would be fun to see him turn back the clock and give us one more crazy performance.
All right, take a look at the comments here real quick before we move on. Champ, thanks for joining us. Yeah, we got to bring the big guns. Pepe, it's you. Jackson, what's happening, bro?
If you see Borshev digging to the body and it's like a striking match, definitely live bet him, I would say. Because I don't really know if Camilo is going to be able to fight through adversity.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, Drop, how do you say a seal pushed me yesterday in French? What does that mean, Drop? All right, he's not here. Sorry, your comment doesn't count. Weird matchup. Slava never quits, and Camilo gave up after 7 minutes. Yeah, I tend to agree. Slava can't defend a takedown. Yeah, Draw's trying to rock a slick back. I don't got any lotion near me right now. Fight talk, what's happening, bro? Thanks for the graphics. I think the under 2.5 is fine as well.
Like, if you go back to the Mike Davis performance, Slava fought his ass off and, continuously worked back up and was, kind of giving Mike Davis hell. Granted, he does look pretty washed, and that was a couple years ago, but, I mean, if he's getting up when he's being taken down, he could definitely claw his way into this.
Drav, how do you say this?
I don't understand the sentence in English.
How do you say a seal pushed me yesterday in French?
You thought reading it to him was going to help?
Maybe he couldn't read. I don't know.
What is a seal? I don't even know what.
That's a good fucking point. Dude, that sounds to be like one of those wordplay things where I'm falling for something, I'm reading something that means something different. I don't know.
Amanda hugging kiss.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Something that's gonna fuck me up is Baysangur Sasurkayev versus Eric McConico. Eric McConico versus Bangasai Sasurkayev. Honestly, it's easier to say the Russian guy's name. All right, 10-0, 10-3, setup fight. One guy we know fought in 7 days' notice off his Dana White Contender Series debut. Smoked the guy who is a bouncer at DJ's in Jersey. Is what it is. Banksiger is minus 900 to 1,000. Eric McConico is plus 600. Key, any value here?
Yeah, I saw JT post the minus 160 going on minus 240 or something on the under. That was me earlier today. I think that there's an obvious setup spot for Sasurkayev. McConico is laughably not durable. I know he has a football background, and we've seen a lot of football players, Austin Lane being one of them. Granted, that's a heavyweight, but these football guys come over after years of concussions and head trauma and expect to have any sort of durability left in their body. And McConico, in my opinion, is just not durable at all. Chicken dance as soon as you land clean on him. Shout out Dylan, he's in the Discord. But chicken dance as soon as you land clean on him. I think that here, Sasurkayev, as long as he doesn't play with his food, this should be pretty obvious. Sasurkayev round 1. McConico literally does not throw back. as low volume as it can get, pretty much. I'm sad to say that I bet him against Ruzabov, which was an awful bet at the time, and I was forcing a Ruzabov fade back then. But I think that he is like absolutely awful. He's constantly on the back foot. He's never looking to actually enter a pocket and throw. Even in the Brundage fight, Brundage clipped him a couple times early. Just bad scenes. I think that Susukaev should have a point to prove after getting hurt by Nolan early. I think he should come out hot here with the full camp. I don't see what McConico could do to him. If Susukaev doesn't finish him in the first half of this fight, I don't know what this guy is, but I think the leg kicks, body kicks should add up here. This should be a pretty easy win.
Pepe, are you feeling differently about it?
Well, I guess I feel different in the fact that I'm not going to be betting any money on the fight. I'm rooting for Susukaev early finish to keep building the hype on him, and that's all I'll say.
Drav, what do you think?
Yeah, be careful about what you say about Susukaev because my boy Dan's gonna be in the comments if we say this guy is not the real deal. He's very high on him. I mean, I'm not gonna act like I don't think he's good. He's good for sure. I think he has a good potential, but I don't think he's as good as what people might think, right? So, and I don't hold that last fight against him too much. He got cocky and he got caught and he still won, and it was very short notice, a quick turnaround. So I think he's the way better fighter here. So I think he's deserved to be a big favorite. I think he look makes sense with the under 1.5. Personally, I don't give Eric finishing upside at all. So I might try to look to like a Susukaev run one prop or something when they open on commercial later in the week. So that's what I have in mind for this fight. I think you should smoke this guy early on. So yeah.
Yeah, I think round 1 KO is fine. I don't see how he extends it. Damn,
I mean, you could maybe submit him, but I don't think he will.
Well, if Eric doesn't engage, which sometimes he doesn't do, he might try to extend it and not like just run around the whole time too.
Yeah, he does that. Yeah, he's kind of scared to engage
because he wouldn't engage at all against Ruzaboyev, and then when he finally did, he got knocked out. So
true. Yeah, it looked like he knows that his chin is not good.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious. And Ruzaboyev is also a guy that kind of is like
he's low volume.
Yeah, he doesn't feel space well at all. But like long term wise, there's a question just for the full panel. Like what? I think obviously the fade is building at some point, and there's obvious holes in his defense striking wise, especially in the pocket. But when do we see this guy end up getting checked?
It depends on how they match make him. Really,
do you think that he touches the top 15?
He could, yeah.
I think he could, but I think he might lose before that.
Yeah,
It's not everybody that are Quill and Sal kid. You know what I mean?
Kelvin Gastelum, maybe you can have him fight Kelvin.
Chris Curtis.
I would like that. He could beat one of these guys at this.
Chris Curtis at plus 400.
Yeah, right. Feels like a potential. There's a lot of KOs in this card. Not a bad idea.
You tired?
Yeah, bro. I'm exhausted. All right. Next fight we have is Angela Hill, Fatima Klein. I mean, she looks like she's got like diabetic neuropathy of the feet, Klein, and then black don't crack. We know that. I'm gonna have to lean Fatima here. But that being said, odds on these two ladies, Hill is plus 375, Fatima Klein minus 500. I mean, Klein's better everywhere. Setup fight. Klein should roll old ass Angela. You have anything to disagree? Our women's expert, Key?
No, I think that Fatima should put in work here. It was really a really bright spot to see Fatima striking wise. Like pretty much cooked versus Missy Martinez. I know that that's like obviously not the highest level of competition at all, but like she didn't even like really try to wrestle a ton in that fight. I believe only 2 takedown attempts, and dominated, and then head kicked her and KO'd her. So big time strides in her development, getting more comfortable on the feet. She continues. I'm still as high on her as I was whenever she debuted against Jazz. I think that she is the real deal and will continue to ascend in this division. But I'm interested to see what Pepe thinks. I know Angela Hills, his girl, has cashed some huge sub round 2 tickets for him. So I'm interested to see what Pepe has to say here.
Yo, first off, we just got to pay a little respect to Angela Hill. She's such a gangster. Like the only African-American female in the UFC. There was Brianna Van Buren for a little bit, but she ended up getting knocked up and her career got sidetracked. So it's cool to see a woman of color have success in the UFC. And she really made the most out of not really having, the most physical gifts. Like, I don't think she was classically trained or anything. She kind of just learned on the job. And, unfortunately, it's not a style that can really age very well we she lacks a lot of strength and power on the feet. And, we kind of we saw it kind of with Carolina as well. Like as they get older, Tisha Pennington last week too, against Gomes, like when you don't have any power on the feet, it's really hard to win fights unless you're dominating grappling, and Klein is the better grappler. So I don't really see a logical. Well, I do think that Angie is crafty enough to potentially make it. I love this fight, actually. I think it's a great fight for Klein to refine her skills, get a lot of time with someone who's very well-rounded, who's going to like test her. There's not going to be anything that's going to be super easy. And she could potentially make a huge statement if she knocks out Angela Hill. We saw Mackenzie Dern drop her in round 1 of their fight, and that was a couple of years ago. Now she's 41. She's in great shape, but like she can be rocked. If Klein shows out here and gets a KO, that would be huge for her trajectory. Real Ones are throwing some bread on Fatima Klein to be strawweight champion on DraftKings at 150-1 for next year.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. I looked at this fight and I was like, this is an easy Fatima spot for me personally. Not really much to say or add. I mean, she's dating Aaron Blanchfield, right?
No, I don't think that's confirmed, dude. Like I've
been just spreading that around for about 3 weeks now, and it's just not even true. All right.
Everyone says it though.
I mean, my Gator goes off. Did you see? I sent it. We were doing the line test, the green line test in Discord this past week, and Erin fails it every time she's in a picture with Klein. So I don't know. It's debatable. What do you think, Droff? Fatima Klein or Angela Hill?
I think Klein's gonna do work. One thing I've noticed with Angie is her cardio has always been one of her best weapon, and I think her cardio is not as good anymore. I don't know if you guys realize, but there's a lot of these fights recently that she slowed down more as the fight goes, late round 2 and in round 3. Not to say she's gassing, but like she's clearly slowing down, and her body language doesn't look too good in fights sometimes when they extend. And yeah, she's always been close margins type fighter with the striking, and her grappling got better compared to back in the days. But I feel like we're getting to a point where she's gonna get finished eventually. Is this fight? Maybe it is, because Klein can go to work on the ground. She's a good grappler, and on the feet, I mean, Klein's striking is improving. She has some underrated power, so I wouldn't be surprised if Klein finish Angela Hill this weekend. She's 41 now, or close to 41. So as strawweight, the chances of her getting finished is way and more likely as the months go. So yeah, I think Klein's gonna handle business pretty comfortably here. I lean decision, but I think she's live for a finish this weekend.
Silva missed his spot. Could have gone on a rant about how Klein is an LGBT champion of the cage. New Zealand's was not figuring out how to play an interest off of the show. Yeah, I still don't know how to do that for this. I've seen other people say the same thing. Peg isn't for Wise in the first one. I mean, they're dating. I think it's pretty obvious. Like Gator was going off for a while there. So I think I have a general consensus on what's going on. 4.818. I mean, Key, what do you think of Angela Hill's feet? What would you rate him on a scale of 1 to 5?
I'm not a feet guy, man. I'm not a feet guy.
You don't have to be to appreciate a good pair of dogs. Angela Hill, gangster for being Angela Hill. Camel supporter, iced coffee. Yeah, I can't drink coffee at 9 o'clock. I won't fucking sleep tonight. Who would you clap out of the two? Okay, you're talking English drop. That's not English.
You were saying, who would you rather smash?
Oh, Fatima Klein, no doubt. You see that fade? Brutal. I was gonna say something real fucked up.
I disagree with you, anyways.
Really?
Yeah, I think Hill got a little something, honestly.
I don't know. I feel like if Fatima had long hair, she'd be kind of trying out like that Rose Namajunas type stuff.
She has like a little boy look, so that's telling.
Pause. All right. So you're walking a fine line, Peg. A good pair of dogs is insane. I mean, it's fascinating. Okay, he said would clap Hill. All right, let's move on here. Let's take a look. We got next fight, the GOAT. Oh wait, no, is that the next fight? Yeah,
It's Chepe versus Pat Sabatini.
Pat Sabatini versus Chepe Mariscal. Mariscal is 18-6. Pat Sabatini is 20-5. Odds on these two gentlemen: Mariscal is plus 115. Pat Sabatini minus 135. Pat Sabatini is your boy. Drav, break it down why he's going to win this fight.
Yeah, he's my boy indeed. And now you're a fan, Peg. After all that shit you talk about him the last year or so, now you're a fan. It's funny how things turns out, right? Remember when you were laying chalk with GSP, saying you would grapple him and stuff like that? Yeah, I mean there's levels to this game, and I think there's level in the grappling. And Pat Sabatini grappling is as good as you can get for the division. He's strong. And what I've noticed over the last years, especially because this fight is a rematch, right? So if you go back and you watch the first fight, it was a long time ago. I'm sure Peg did not do that. But anyway.
That's the first one I messaged you about was their rematch. I told you that 17 is a more refined grappler now than he was.
The cup is there to go get you.
Yeah. So I watched. Don't you worry. But continue.
I'm surprised. I'm very surprised. But yeah, what I've noticed is I think in the first fight, Pat was able to get takedowns, right? But Chepe is very hard to hold down, and he has very good scrambles and stuff like that. He's kind of a maniac. He's a little dog. But I think Pat top game and top control overall has gotten a lot better since then, and he's just way more patient to get to his position. And if you make mistakes now compared to back then, he's way more he's going to take advantage of it way better than he used to, even though he was a good grappler back in the day. But it's a confidence thing with this guy. And I don't know if you guys recall, but before the GSP fight, he said that he was talking about it in an interview that he was not really confident going into fights. He had doubt and everything, right? He was not really feeling himself. And Sean Brady said the same thing, right? They trained together. They're at the same camp. And he said, I got a sport psychology. And since then, I feel way better. I'm ready to go. I feel confident in myself. And then he won 2 fights in a row. And I don't think that's by accident, right? So even I bet him in his last 2 fights as an underdog. And against Brito, right, in round 3, I was like, I hope he's not going to get fucking knocked out after that domination. But yeah, Brito is a strong guy, and I knew for a fact he will go for some guillotine when he should not, and that would open Pat grappling a lot. In this fight, I think that Pat can get takedowns. I'm pretty confident in that. But I think Chepe is going to grapple back with him. Chepe will grapple. So I don't see Chepe just try to avoid the grappling. That's just not what he does. In almost every fight that he has, he grapple. Even against Morgan Sharia, for example, Morgan had success in the grappling against him a bit, and the wrestling especially. And I think Pat, maybe he's not as big at as Morgan, but he's way better in the grappling. And what I've noticed with Chepe is when he's getting back up, he tends to give up his back, and he can be a little bit reckless sometimes on the ground. So I think Pat can maybe catch something like a guillotine, for example, or a back take to a rear naked choke. That could be something. I know Chepe has never been submitted, but I think, there's a one time for everything. I think Pat could maybe submit him, but I see this fight playing out in the grappling for the most part. And when it does, one guy is the better grappler. That's Pat Sabatini. One guy is more likely to win minute from top position. That's Pat Sabatini. And one guy is more likely to submit the other, and that's Pat Sabatini. Now, on the feet, Pat does a good job to just avoid a lot of exchanges on the feet because, his chin is not really good. But it's not like Chepe is knocking out guys in the UFC. He's swing and he's going to go for it. But I just don't see this fight not being played on the grappling because Chepe is not going to try to avoid it. And again, just keeping it simple. But I think Pat is going to probably win the decision. But if he submit him, I wouldn't be surprised. And I hope that he's going to get a top 15 next after that. Chepe is not a bum. He's on a big win streak himself. But I think he lost to Morgan. And there are some fights he should have finished and he did not, like Damon Jackson, like Ramos. I don't know why he didn't finish those fights. And I'm sure Keith still hate the Jack Jenkins fight because Jack was looking good, man. I don't think Chepe was on his way to win that fight, and then the injury happened. So, I'm not saying his run is fraudulent, nothing like that, but I think he got a bit lucky in that run. One of his win, I don't think he should have. And the other against Jack Jenkins, if that injury doesn't happen, I'm not sure he won that fight as the fight goes. And there are two other fights that he didn't finish, But yeah, again, it's a good fight. I'm really excited to watch this fight. I'm curious to know what you guys think about it. Pepe, what you got? Go next.
Okay, I am not betting on this fight, but I do think the Sabatini play was sharp. I'm just not like kind of what you were alluding to. I'm not really a Chepe believer. I think he's ran pretty hot to be on this win streak, as you talked about. And just thinking about the matchups in general, like he fought Ricardo Ramos last fight, and dude, he'd even finish him. Like that is a joke. Like you can't even finish that guy. And we just saw what Con Offley did to him. Got rid of him easily. Then he gets like Damon Jackson at the end of his career. Chepe missed weight for that. He was like 6 pounds over and looked way bigger than Jackson in the cage. And then, the Morgan win, we should say, is aging pretty terrible too. He got exposed by Nathaniel Wood. So, I think Pat has a way better chance of looking like a massive favorite. To my point, like Chepe couldn't even finish Ricardo Ramos, who, everyone is finishing. So I think this should be a safe spot for Sabatini. I just don't really like to bet his fights anymore personally, but I think it was the sharp side.
Yeah. I tend to lean Pat as well. Did I bet it myself? No. I think he has clear grappling upside, clear top time upside. I mean, I think the fight goes one of two ways, right? Chepe wins fight by out-dogging people. And if it's not that type of fight, then it's Pat Sabatini gets a takedown. And once the snowball starts rolling, it rolls downhill. It's pretty straightforward. I didn't play Pat Sabatini, just also to be clear. I would at better odds, but I don't really feel like playing minus 135 to find out whether his chin's going to hold up or if he's going to get grappling going. What do you think, Key?
Yeah, Chepe's should probably be 3-2 right now, realistically, if he doesn't get that random shit from Jack Jenkins. And I thought Sharier won that fight. I don't have a lot of love for Chepe, honestly. I got to respect him. I can't call a guy who's such a workhorse like a weasel, truly. So I got to respect game. Guy's tough. He fights hard. This should be a close fight to me. I haven't done any tape on this. So for me, it's a pass, and I probably will end up just passing throughout the week on this fight.
What do you guys think about this?
I don't think that Chepe is getting.
I don't see Chepe getting finished, to be honest.
Or not. Yeah, I don't think that Chepe's going.
Do you see a finish coming? You seem passionate about this fight.
I think it's gonna go the distance, honestly. But I do agree that there's finishing upside on both sides. So in that aspect, I don't mind it. But I just think in a fight like that, where a lot of possible outcomes can happen, I think it's just better to go with the money line on the guy you like the most if you have a strong read, or just pass on it.
Yeah, like I wouldn't be surprised if fucking Chepe like knees him in the head as Sabatini's going in for a takedown or something, and then like the fight's shortly over.
I hope not.
It's like it's a little too volatile for me. Like I hate betting on guys that have been like KO'd multiple times, and even in the Emmers fight too. And then like Chepe just kind of has like a big hardware advantage, so I get why Sabatini is the side, but I can't get there.
That's also 36. That's what people fail to think about. He's kind of getting on the older side.
Is he former military? He seems it.
He's 35. He just turned 35.
I'm sorry. He turns 36 in a month. My bad.
No, he just turned 35.
You sure?
Yes, his birthday was like a couple of days ago. He was 34 when I was looking at it. He just turned 35.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's 35. I like Chepe here. If he grapples, maybe two. I think it's one of the maddest Pat. Yeah, no, Chepe's.
Yeah, I mean he grapple in every fucking fight.
He said no to that. Iridium managed fighter had to play Chepe money line. Chepe managed by Jason Haas is under investigation by the FBI. I didn't know that. Chepe money line. I think Pat wins here. Pat via falling out of position less times than he did in the first fight.
I agree.
Sabatini, Chepe can't keep getting away with it.
That's key. He's like,
it kind of looks like Caillou. That's crazy. That's from the last one. Who has a sprawl and brawl if I actually bet him? Yeah, I mean, that's your hope. He makes it a dog fight, but like odds of Pat welcoming a dog fight isn't likely.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like Chepe drive in those type of fight. And I mean, if Pat try to swing in the middle of the cage against Chepe, then
you already know.
Lose, obviously, but
it's pretty much if Pat gets KO'd welcoming a dog fight, or he just blankets him. So
what I like about these fighters like that, we're gonna talk about like Sean Brady, for example, on the main card, but you know exactly what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Like if he doesn't get KO'd, you know exactly what he's gonna do, and you can trust him to fight intelligent. So I kind of like that when the lines are closed, you know exactly what the guy's gonna do. He knows his A game, and he's going to stick to it.
Yeah, the fight basically comes down to whether Chepe can scramble with him and get back up to his feet and not get just triangled or held down or submitted right away.
Yeah. All right. Next fight here, we have Gerald Mearshart versus the Darce Knight, Kyle Daukaus. Kyle Daukaus, 16-4. GM3 is 37-20. Odds on these two gentlemen, you can get Kyle Daukaus at a discounted price of -430. You can get Gerald Mearshart at +330. It's weird. Someone said that Kyle Daukaus was supposed to be lined -400 against Michel Pereira. And
I don't think he did -400. Did you say -200?
I'm sorry. He was +250, and I said he should be -250. That's it.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
And now, what do we have? Look what we have here. I mean, there's an old saying you got some young men in here. I'm a little bit older. There's an old saying in gambling: hungry dogs run faster. And for that reason, there was a clear angle on Kyle Daukaus. He's a young, hungry dog, finally happy to get back in the UFC. Pereira is a Brazilian fraud. Here, wouldn't be the case. This is GM3 2 years ago. The guy who fought Petrosky, the guy who fought Edmund Shabazian. Sure, that guy gives us a fight, probably swamps Kyle Daukaus. GM3's looked slow. He looks old. Kyle Daukaus wants to take his head off. This is also a hometown fight for Kyle Daukaus, being a Philly boy. I think Kyle Daukaus gets this done early. So a lot of people are betting Kyle Daukaus round one. Everyone's rushing to bet Kyle Daukaus at -400, which I'm surprised about because no one wanted to bet him at +200, but now they want to bet him at -400. That's just always interesting to me to watch how like MMA Tour's brain works. But Yeah, I think this is GM3's retirement fight, like this guy said. I think he's pretty washed at this rate, and I think Kyle Daukaus can pretty much do whatever he needs to do to get this done. Anyone tend to disagree? Does anyone feel like playing GM3 or taking the dog shot at plus 330?
No, you ate on that breakdown, bro. Gotta give you your flowers when everything's lining up.
Yep, everything just lines up.
So Peg, I mean, you're the Kyle Daukaus expert. So how do we play him this week? Tell us.
I mean, what's his K? I haven't even really looked into it. What's his KO prop?
I think it's like plus 250.
No, is it?
Oh, fight ends by KO is plus 160. That's how you play this fight. Is fight ends by KO plus 160. I mean, hasn't Daukaus been knocked out in the past?
Yeah, he got knocked out by Eric Anders in the UFC, and
Okay, so
I think he got knocked out.
Yeah, he got knocked out by Roman Dolidze. He got
Eric Anders.
Phil Dawes, Brennan out. Dude, if you look at he's got quite the pedigree here, Kyle Daukaus. He's got quite the resume.
Here's an actual question for the breakdown. Do you think there's too much finishing equity being placed in the under 1.5 because Daukaus finished Pereira and GM3 got KO'd by Nickal?
Yes, I do think there's too much on the under 1.5 because, like, I mean, when have we ever seen Kyle Daukaus outside of Pereira, who looks like he pulled a stunt? It
was a dive. He took a dive. He got paid.
Okay, so he took a dive. We're gonna call it that, right? Everyone's talking about whatever they're called, conspiracies. He took a dive. Either way, when have we ever seen Kyle walk out and stiff someone like that? And then GM3 like swamps people and subs them late.
Also, like GM3 goes to his back all the time. Kyle might follow him down there, you know. He might tell him to like, oh, get up, let's fucking bang this out. And I wouldn't be surprised if he knocked him out in round one.
I was gonna say, because he also tweeted that. He tweeted like, fuck this, I'm knocking his head off in round one. So he's gonna try and do it. He's dumb enough to probably try and do it.
You know what's the issue for me for like the over and stuff like that? You know, GM3 has been finished 14 times actually. If you look at it, try to guess how many times was it in round one?
Probably
out of 14.
12.
Yeah, right on point.
What was it?
Yeah, so it's kind of hard, you know, because he's the type of guy that build into fight, right? That's kind of his style. But when he doesn't have the chance to build into fight, he tends to get knocked the fuck out or get submitted, right? So it's just
he got 9 submission losses. So it doesn't even have to be a KO.
Darce Knight sub him.
Peg, you're not gonna have money on Kyle Daukaus? I mean,
I kind of after pulling off my stunt the last time he fought, I think I've made all the money I can on Kyle Daukaus. I don't think I need to take my chances again. Him by sub plus 300 kind of seems okay.
But you just said fight ends by KO, so I mean, you got to give a bet to the people in the chat since you're the expert.
I'm looking at this now. These are what's round 1K? Daukaus round 1K was plus 400.
Wow.
Kind of ass.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Plus 600 for round 2. Plus 1,000 for round 3. I mean, dude, Gerald Mearshart round 2, round 3 props kind of go crazy. They're back in the numbers that like Drav would like, where it's like plus 2,200, plus 1,800 for round 2, round 3 Mearshart sub. I feel like that's your
I made my money with those when I played them last time against, you know, when he got them against Edmund. It was a crazy cash, but honestly, I think he's cooked GM3. I think he's completely washed. So, yeah, that's a big issue.
All right, so then take the under. There you go. I'll give you that's my bet. Take the under. Prevents you from like Daukaus also pulling a stunt. That's pretty much it. We spent a lot of time on a fight that's so unnecessary. Big Steve, thanks for joining us, brother. I think he's talking about you, Pepe.
We're trying to make money here.
I hope Daukaus don't really fuck this up. I mean, there's a full chance he fucks this up. Like, don't even be surprised. I don't think fighting by sub's a terrible look. I don't think so either. I would play Augusta win the KO against GM3. I think GM3 live's not terrible. GM3's not that early. Live wiki cap's insane. I mean, dude, who's sitting down and capping a -400 Kyle Daukaus fight? Spend your time better. Honestly, it's a complete pass for me. It's not bad. Gerard. What, Drop? What are you laughing at?
The last comment.
Wait, I wish Pet had self-service so I could see his Discord reaction to it.
Not this one. The last one. Jets Magic.
Jets Magic. Oh, fuck, did you see that?
It's on the screen now.
Oh, shit. Holy crap. It looks like Peg is the only black guy in this. That's funny. That's right. The more time I spend with Key, the better.
So we spent Salkin as well. we spent too much time on this.
All right, we'll move on. Next fight. Next fight's actually a banger, and I think it's one of those fights everyone's going to be talking about this week, and it's pretty controversial. We got Malcolm Wellmaker. He's back versus Cody Haddon. Cody Haddon's 8-1. Wellmaker's 10-0. Odds in these two gentlemen, you get Wellmaker -140, Haddon +120. Who wants to go first here? Key, I'm gonna have you go first. I mean, Wellmaker, I think is your boy, but then like when this fight got announced, you're like, yo, I can't wait to play Haddon at huge plus odds. And
why would you think the Wellmaker's my boy, Peg?
Because he's a brother, just like you and I. But that being said, I'm on Cody Haddon. You said you were going to join me with Haddon on plus odds. Did you join the army or no?
I don't think that I ever spoke to you about this fight this week. This guy is like delusional. I've barely been in the group chat this week.
No, it was when it was first announced. When they first announced.
No. Yeah, Key, I'm pretty sure you did say that, Key, but it was like a month ago. So Peg, if you say something like that, Peg is gonna remember. He's gonna remember.
he can remember that for some reason, but other shit. But in all seriousness, though, I think the Wellmaker is good. He's not my guy. I backed him on Dana White Contender Series versus that Can. I backed Cody Haddon against Argueta. I think that both are really good. And I think that both have bright futures, but I also think that Cody Haddon is like really, really fucking good. And I project for him to be a real player in this division soon. What I came away impressed with from Cody Haddon was, one, how well-rounded of a mixed martial artist he is, truly. Mixing in the wrestling in every fight that he's in. And he fills space really, really well. And not that I think the Wellmaker's I think that some of the low volume concerns of Wellmaker are kind of overblown at times. I just think that he's sort of a guy that likes to strike on his terms only. And whenever he does get pushed back, it kind of does just become check hook city. And I get it. The guy's insanely powerful, a great athlete. But I think this process can be a little flawed on the feet. One thing I do worry about on the Cody Haddon side is the calf kick. I think that if Wellmaker gets the calf kick going early, that can be problematic. But Cody's shown just a really intelligent MMA game overall. Like his only loss being against Steve Erceg back on the regional scene. Overall, I like the Aussie regional scene in general. I think there's a lot of good guys coming from over there. And I think that Cody is a good product from them. I think that he's just really well-rounded. He checks almost all the boxes. A good technical boxer. He rolls in and out of shots. I'd like to see him not stick around the pocket too long, especially in this fight. And I have to imagine that's definitely part of the game plan, assuming and knowing that Wellmaker has insane pop. But I think outside of Wellmaker bonking him, I don't see Wellmaker putting together a better 15 minutes than Haddon. And could Wellmaker bonk him? Absolutely. But I also think that if this was put on Dana White Contender Series, I think that we'd probably be seeing this line closer to pick him, honestly. I don't think him knocking out Chris Mutino does not move me at all. And honestly, he got pushed back in that fight a couple times. I didn't like the look of it. And the Cameron Simon, I mean, you hit him. Like That's tough. Like I'm not outside of Bonk. I'm not really overly impressed with Wellmaker. I think he's a good athlete, but I think that Haddon is the better MMA fighter here. So I side with Haddon in this fight. I don't think that he's just going to wet blanket Wellmaker or anything. Wellmaker has shown solid get-ups and is definitely physical. But I think that the constant threat of the takedown will lead to Haddon being able to open up to the body. And that's another thing. Haddon digs to the body in every fight, and I love it. Wellmaker is pretty much, for the most part, a headhunter. He does jab to the body every once in a while, but he's looking to just set up a big hook pretty much with everything he does on the feet. So I think Haddon's the better guy here. I side with Haddon.
Yeah, you put it perfectly. Wellmaker likes to strike on his own terms. You said it perfectly, and he's looking for that hook. If you watch the Cody Saman fight, right, or Cameron Saman, sorry, he all he's looking for when he knocked out Cameron was that check hook, and he was like, fuck it. He's throwing a check hook too. Let's see who lands first, who lands harder. He counts on his. He doesn't like fighting on his back foot. You see a lot of time he plants his back leg to generate the power and torque to throw that hook. Cody Haddon's going to be he's going to go belt to ass on this boy, and it's going to be something special to see. You're going to wish you were there at plus odds, because outside of round one, if Wellmaker doesn't knock him out, I could see him getting pushed to the fence, being the fight on Cody's terms. I mean, we've never seen Wellmaker like. When's the last time we've seen him like face adversity or get dogged or have to dig deep? Has anyone seen it?
He went 5 rounds on the regional. What about that?
Was it a dog fight, or was it 5-way traffic and you couldn't find the finish?
No, it was close,
Yeah.
back and forth, but they're not like high level guys at all.
Yeah, Cody Haddon. The only guy he's lost to is Steve Erceg. He's fighting that caliber guy, like he said, Eternal MMA or Hex MMA, whichever one he's from. They're actually producing really good fighters now. This guy Cody Haddon's the full package. I don't understand how you could take a guy who we're not too sure about versus a guy in Haddon where he's got everything put together. So I took it at plus 145 this morning. Pissed and missed the plus 160 line last night, and I think Cody Haddon gets this done. What do you think, Drav?
Yeah, so I'm very hyped for this fight. I did a post on Twitter, and people seems to love it. A lot of views on it, but yeah, I had my list on last year. Then I went Contender Series. I had a top five prospect, right? Quillen Salkid, and I had Cody Haddon and Malcolm Wellmaker on that list as top 5 best prospects. So they're going at it. They're fighting for the top 3 because number 1 is Salkid. So I think the winner of this fight will be number 2 on my list officially. And yeah, I have a good read on these guys. The only issues I have made is I play Simon against Wellmaker for some reasons. It was a terrible bet. I thought Simon would be able to take the punches. And I thought he will be durable enough to extend the fight, and he just throw a shit ton volume. He has underrated grappling, so I thought maybe, but yeah, he one-shot KO him. Then Chris Moutinho, you can say what you want about him. He's not a great fighter, but he's never going out by one shot. You kind of finish him with accumulation, like Sean O'Malley did. I know he got knocked out. He got TKO'd against the old guy, Guido something, right? But normally he doesn't get knocked out cold like that. So Wellmaker does have like elite power, one of the hardest hitter in the entire division, and that counts for something. So yeah, I play him on Dynamite Contender Series like he did. I had the KO. I played the under 1.5 against Moutinho. And I play Haddon very big against Dan Argueta. Dan Argueta retired, by the way. And you're talking like Wellmaker didn't fight anyone, but I mean, Cody, he fought Dan Argueta with, he's a grappler. He doesn't have striking, and he kind of gassed out in that fight, Argueta. But I mean, why is Argueta dropping you with a calf kick? You know what I mean? I don't like to see that. Just keeping it real. And Argueta had some moments on the feet, even though he was outmatched against Cody Haddon. And on the Dynamite Contender Series, the guy that he beat, Billy Brown, he's a decent fighter, right? He's a decent prospect. He was 5-1 at the time. He's 6-4 now. He got finished after that on the regional. So it's like, and yeah, he fought Steve Erceg. Steve Erceg, by the way, is a flyweight. So yeah, it was a close fight. but he still lost. And then his other wins on the regional are not really good either. So, I mean, to me, it's a step up for both guys. But I think Wellmaker, the Simon win, I know Key was high on Simon at some point. He's a good fighter, but, you know, he's hittable. So is Cody Haddon. That's my issue. I was honestly going into tapes trying to bet Cody Haddon because, again, I'm very high on both guys, and I know that he's very skilled. And yeah, I agree that he's a better minute winner in this fight, and he has very good boxing. But he's there to be counter when he pressure. Everybody's landing counter on this guy. And Wellmaker, you can say he's low volume, he's this and that. I mean, every time that guy Cody Haddon's going to close the distance, you're going to be worried about that check left hook every time, because in any round, one punch can put him down, and that's the reality. So for me here, I think one guy has a massive power advantage on the Wellmaker side, and I think he has way more finishing upside than Cody Haddon does, personally. And then yes, Cody is a better minute winner because he throws a lot of volume. But if you're trying to volume a lot like he does and pressure a lot and get hit very hard, he might be a little bit more careful about throwing a lot of volume. So that can be one thing because of Wellmaker power. And Keith mentioned it, but one big thing for me here as well is the calf kicks. I think Wellmaker calf kick is going to be a big weapon. With like 3 or 4 calf kicks on Dynamite Contenders, you can see that his opponent didn't like it, and he's really heavy with them. And Cody Haddon uses jab a lot with the boxing, so that can be a big thing to use against him. And then the grappling is obviously the big talking point. I feel like most people that are betting Cody Haddon think that he's going to bank a lot of minutes with the grappling. I disagree with that, honestly. He's a good grappler, but I think Wellmaker is more physical. He's bigger than Haddon, and I don't think Wellmaker is easy to take down and hold down personally. And you also got to factor that guy was not full-time into MMA. He's full-time into MMA now. So he's going to be improving at a rapid rate, training with guys like Merab and stuff like that. So I think Wellmaker is the truth, honestly. I really do. Insane power, insane athlete, massive for the division. And people seems to think this guy is KO1 or bust or something, but he won a 5-round fight before. He won a 3-round fights before. And in those fights, he was pushing the grappling. And the 3 rounds fight that he won, he was getting takedowns. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if Wellmaker can get Cody Haddon down, honestly, this weekend. And I'm not saying he's going to submit him. I'm not saying he's going to hold him down, because I think Cody takedown defense is good, but also I think his get-up game is elite. So I don't think Wellmaker is going to have like big grappling success. But I think they can both land takedowns, which is something that I don't think most people think. And I don't think Cody's going to have an easy time taking him down or holding him down. I don't think Cody's going to submit him. I don't think Cody's going to knock him out. So, and yeah, if they go the distance, I think Wellmaker is going to have massive moments, big moments upside. And I think he's going to destroy that leg early. And that can change all the fight with the pressure, the boxing of Cody Haddon. And Cody Haddon has never been hit as hard that he's going to get hit this weekend by Wellmaker. Can he take it? He seems like a tough guy, maybe. But I'm pretty sure he's going to get hurt at some point in this fight. And if he get hurt one time or put down one time, let's say he doesn't get knocked out, that's a round for Wellmaker right away. And Wellmaker has good cardio. He's not going to slow down. He carries power late. And Cody, his cardio is good, but he does slow down a bit. And I think his defense gets worse as the fight goes. Now, Wellmaker is not perfect. He has his issues. His defense is not the best. He can be back up, like you guys said. I agree with that. And if you extend your combination like Cody Haddon does, I think he can have success with that. But I think the big cage is better for Wellmaker. And yeah, I just give him massive big moments upside and a lot of KO upside. And I think both guys can land takedowns. So yeah, I like Wellmaker here. I know money's coming in on Cody Haddon. Know a lot of people that like that side. I agree. Like I cannot, not I agree, but I understand both guys are very skilled. But after looking deep into it, I think Wellmaker's gonna. I'm not sure he's gonna knock him out, but I'm gonna predict him to hurt him or drop him. Then let's see if Cody Haddon survive after that. But yeah, I think Wellmaker is gonna be really big in MMA sooner than later. But Cody Haddon's gonna be a big name too. But he's only 27, so maybe in 2 years from now. But yeah, it's a fucking great fight, man. Pepe, what you got on this one?
I don't have anything. I'm passing on it. I think I slightly lean with Wellmaker too, just based on the physicality. He has a great frame for 135, and Haddon coming in on short notice. Obviously, he's got the better process. I still have some questions on how Wellmaker is going to do at this level over 15. So that's why I don't want to lay the juice on him, but I'm really excited for the fight.
All right. Wellmaker is a lock. Never get this price again.
On who?
I knew he was in here somewhere.
What's up, Dan?
What's happening, Dan? Thanks for joining us, bro.
I'm sure Dan liked my breakdown better than yours. I don't know why, but I'm sure he does.
He may have fallen asleep during it, bro. All right, I put my rent money on Wellmaker. He's the truth. I got a big bet on him myself. You're not slick, Dan. All right, so this guy thought Lundo was Dan. Because Wellmaker going to get hell. I think we see another highlight reel from Wellmaker. Haddon's going to sleep. JDM's real name is Giacomo. The buddy is really Giacomo Della Maddalena. Yeah.
Weird Como, bro.
No, whatever. Fight goes over 1.5. Why is there 2 streams? I feel bad for the 13 people. I just deleted the fake stream. Let's hope it doesn't delete this shit too. But we'll see what's going on.
It's all Peg fault again. So make sure you watch this stream with 88 viewers. So by the way, 88 viewers, 24 like. What's going on? We had a good guest, Pepe, in here for that big pay-per-view. One of the biggest card of the entire year. So make sure you smash that like for us before we go into the main card.
All right. Gotta go Blanchfield, painted toenails. Actually, it does it painted too, actually. Tough debate. It's really a melanin type thing. Country girl, Hispanic woman. Probably
Country girl.
Yeah, I guess Jersey. Well, she's like mid-Jersey area. She ain't from like real Jersey. She's from like Warwick area, Jersey, Orange County, Jersey. But yeah, I think it just kind of depends on how you feel about it. Both good options, but I will say Tracy's face is kind of beat now. People used to think she's hot. I think she's totally overrated at this rate. Would take Aaron.
Nah, that's an odd take. I think Tracy is pound for pound.
Crazy. Cat. It's because your pound for pound is in like most of these girls are beat anyway. So what does it matter?
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, ugly.
Dude, there's plenty of attractive WMMA fighters. Listen, we got Aaron Blanchfield taking on Tracy Cortez. This is the biggest West Coast versus East Coast battle since Tupac and Biggie. I'm fucking so excited for this fight, dude. This is my Super Bowl. I'm taking the stream over right now.
But you're going first. Go ahead.
And daddling a little too
you
much.
Got to be on Aaron, right?
Yeah. I played Aaron huge here. I really like her in this matchup. I played her a couple days ago, and the reason why is I'm just way higher on her as a prospect against Cortez. And in this specific matchup, I think she has way more margin for error. I think Cortez has to fight pretty tight in order to get it done. Like, she has to be very focused. Aaron can kind of just let loose, go for takedowns. And I think if the fight is snowballing in any direction, it's going to be snowballing towards Aaron getting him finished against Cortez. Like, if Aaron gets Tracy down within like the first minute and a half of the fight, it's probably over, because Blanchfield, I don't think Cortez is going to get up if Aaron's on top of her at a reasonable clip at all. She's just a way better grappler, way more submission upside. You saw in their first fight when they fought, when Aaron was 19, she was like, her game was not refined whatsoever. She was kind of a mess. As soon as Cortez got her down, she had her in an armbar the whole round one, just wouldn't let go of the armbar. She's fucking 19 with no physicality at all. And then round 3 comes around and Aaron gets on top of her and mauls her for round 3. Close decision, whatever, Cortez got it. But now Aaron's 26. She's leveled up and all of her fights. Her losses against Furo, like one of the best pound for pound WMMA fighters that we have around. Like, there's no fucking chance Cortez would sniff a win against Manon Furo. I don't hate that. Was it a great look? No, but what we did see was that she has no quit in her. She has great cardio. She's going to be there for all 15 minutes. I give her way more finishing upside in this matchup. I think the submission is definitely live. And, from a market perspective, Blanchfield has just been ranked a lot higher than Cortez against similar opponents. A couple years younger. I like that. And I just think it's a very favorable fight for Blanchfield. If Cortez gets her down, I think that she could finish the armbar this time or create a sweep to get on top. I like Blanchfield a lot in this spot. This is my one bet. I know someone was on my dick about me passing, but, I'm going to be honest on the show. If I don't have a bet, I don't have a bet. I bet Aaron here.
Yeah, I'm on Aaron as well. Massive grappling upside, wrestling upside. Tracy Cortez, I don't know. Doesn't seem like she's fit for the game much longer, to be honest with you. Word is camp's kind of coming to an end. I mean, listen to the Santino show. He said it's got her fighting, Cejudo's fighting. He's done. So, I mean, that can't be good. Your coach is leaving. So, I don't know. Aaron Blanchfield fought better strength of schedule, like Pepe just said. I mean, we just watched Man Farrow beat her up for 25 minutes, but she was there for 25 minutes. She didn't give up. If you watch the Rose fight, she actually dropped the first and second round to Rose and then won 3, 4, and 5 on a clean sweep. And that's pretty impressive to drop the first two, knowing that a girl in the caliber fighter of Rose only has to win a few minutes to win the fight, and she couldn't pull it off because once Aaron turned it on, she turned it on. So, yeah, I'm on Aaron too. I got minus 195 a few days ago. Love the price. I think Aaron's a good parlay. Aaron with Fatima Klein. Call it the lesbian lover parlay. They're dating each other, so that's what we're going to call it. That's what we're going to bet it. I think odds on it are probably it was like minus 140. Seems pretty good to me, honestly. Seems free.
Wow, Peg really trying to give the kiss of death on this Blanchfield play.
Yeah. So, Key, what are you thinking here? It's got to be Aaron, right?
I think that Aaron should get it done. There's no need to harp on this fight for too long. I think that Tracy's not a serious fighter, but I think that Aaron should get it done here.
So, Drav, tell us why you got to be the contrarian and you bet Tracy Cortez here.
I did not bet Tracy Cortez. Yeah, I'm not trying to bet with my dick here. I'm betting to make money. So that's that. I don't want to bet her in this fight. I mean, I think Pepe broke it down perfectly. The big difference is Aaron has all the finishing upside. She's the much better grappler, and she's gonna do way more while standing. Like she pressure. She's really mean. That's the way I would describe her, and she has no quit. So I think she's live to get a finish. Honestly, I think she wins by decision. But Pepe, you said that the sub is live. Do you know what the price is on that? I don't think it's out on commercial, right? I
don't know. It's fucking wide. I'll tell you that. Once it gets to domestics, I'm sure it'll be a solid ass price.
Like 700 probably, right? Something around that.
I doubt it. I got
a 550 on Bet Online, no?
Yeah, that price won't last.
Yeah, it's plus 525.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
All right. That's that. Aaron UD, lesbian lover parlay. You know it. Lock it in. It's free. Wish you could look Pepe. I'm not putting money on this female fight. I mean, dude, it's a pretty good fight to bet on, to be honest. There's a relatively large edge towards one fighter. And I never talk about edge. So that being said, Pepe's goated, down with Tracy. I like Aaron here to get redemption in the rematch. I think she's going to outward Tracy on both the feet and on the ground. Yeah, she's going to belt the ass. Should be straightforward. All right. Next fight here, Roman Kopylov versus Gregory Rodriguez. Robocop, if you will. 17-6 versus Kopylov, 14-4. Odds on these two gentlemen. You can get Kopylov anywhere from plus 142 to plus 135. You get Gregory Rodriguez anywhere from minus 162 to minus 170. Drav, I'm gonna have you go first. I mean, this is like a much cleaner striker versus a guy who doesn't move his head but has massive power. I feel like Roman Kopylov at dog odds is probably good here. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a fight that I have not taped yet, but I know both of these guys well, and one thing is Kopylov. His cardio is not the best. He tends to slow down when he has a lot of pressure against him, and we know what Robocop's going to do. He's going to pressure him. He's going to land massive shots. But I mean, like you said, he doesn't move his head. He's hittable, and Kopylov is very fast, so he can counter him for sure. He can land a big head kick or something. He can put him out. I really do believe that. And then Robocop, I think, can also hurt or maybe knock out Kopylov as the fight goes. What I want to tape especially about is the grappling, and I'm curious to know what Key and Pepe is going to say about this. But I mean, Robocop is going to be way stronger here, and obviously he can potentially get takedowns. I think Kopylov's takedown defense is actually pretty good, but once he's getting taken down, especially if it's in the middle of the cage, I have some concerns because, Robocop is way better on top. And especially if you take him down like early on in the fight, that can change everything. So yeah, I lean Robocop, but I don't know if I'm gonna be willing to lay the price. I'm gonna need to tape it to see about the grappling, especially. So I don't know if Pepe and Key has a read on that part of the fight.
Go ahead.
Yeah, for me personally, I mean, I'm Kopylov's biggest hater. He's weaseled his way out of some bullshit to me. It was so satisfying to finally get my good fade and have Paulo Costa take in that last fight, and that fight played out exactly how I thought it would. I think the Robocop here is not like he has the greatest cardio in the world, but he fights like a bowling ball. So unless Kopylov head kicks him early or something, and Kopylov does have a sharp jab, and I will give Kopylov some credit. He is a much better fighter than I initially thought. But outside of like some major cut or a big head kick, I think the margins start to run pretty thin for Kopylov. I think that Robocop downhill is a problem for Kopylov as a guy who loves to fight on his terms and at his pace. I mean, there's a guy that he was having to wrestle his way out of a Cesar Almeida fight. We obviously know that there is no wrestling option here, no get out of jail free card here. So I think the Robocop has upside to wrestle here if he's smart, which, that's always a gamble with Robocop. But if he's smart, I think that he does wrestle somewhat early and forces a decent pace and boxing range, as that's where Kopylov has been exposed in previous fights. So I think that Robocop gets it done. I'm not running to eat minus 162 on Robocop, honestly, especially after seeing Hermanson dink and dunk his way to having some success until he died. And I did have Robocop round 1 KO in that fight, but I wasn't the happiest at how that fight was going until he bonked him. For me, it's kind of a pass. We'll see. Prop-wise, I think that there's some cool ways he could potentially play this fight.
Pepe, close us out here.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that jumped off the page, there's two things. So one, Kopylov is much faster than Rodriguez. Rodriguez is very plodding. But two, Kopylov's a fucking terrible grappler. So if Rodriguez can get the grappling going, he can probably snowball this fight. I just don't think that he's going to be able to – I just don't know how likely it is that he's going to get him down early. Kopylov's grappling against the fence is a bit better. His first layer takedown defense is solid. And with him being so much quicker than Rodriguez early, I think Rodriguez might have a hard time getting to him to close the distance safely. So I honestly think Kopylov KO1 is super, super live here. Rodriguez has been knocked out multiple times by southpaws. That's why I don't – but I've never been a Kopylov guy, honestly, either. His wins haven't aged well whatsoever. I do think he's getting better for sure. Like, I had Costa pretty big against him last fight. And, dude, like, how are you minus 250 to Paulo Costa and now plus 150 to Rodriguez, who's been knocked out 4 times? Yeah, I think, if anything, under for me.
I don't mind the under either. I don't know. I kind of want to take a Roman Kopylov dog shot, to be honest with you. I don't know.
The thing is, then he gets taken down, and it's like you're fucking shot.
Yeah. I've been shot before, but
God.
but hey, sometimes it's worth it. I would rather lay the juice on Robocop than Aaron Blanchfield. That's fucking crazy. Rodriguez doesn't ever grapple. I kind of agree. You can't really count on him to grapple. Rodriguez getting smoked. He hates Southpaw, especially dude's got good kicks. This isn't Mortal Kombat PS2. It's real life. Roman, bro, cat blocks also is crazy for a full comment. Kopylov fought so dumb against Costa. Yeah, tends to do that. Robocop took down CLD 4 times. Seems like a big advantage here. Robocop by sub. I don't know. It's probably a decent number.
The infamous Robocop sub.
I know. Black belt, decorated black belt, Brazilian, bald. Got to get it done every single fight for his whole career.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I'm on Robocop. We finally see the Robocop sub. Fight ends by KO minus 150. It's actually pretty good. I don't mind that bet, to be honest. CLD used to be a basketball player. Roman Kopylov is a Russian southpaw who is good, well-rounded fighter. Great.
CLD would smoke Kopylov anyways.
I know. All right. Rodolfo Vieira, the black belt hunter, versus Bo Nickal. Bo Nickal 7-1, coming off his first loss against the late and great RDR. Vieira is 11-3, coming off a win in a striking bout versus Andre Petroski. Odds on these lines: Bo Nickal minus 229, Rodolfo Vieira plus 194. Pepe, I'm gonna have you go first, man. I kind of feel like I kind of like Bo Nickal here. I think it's a pretty good spot. It's finally, we're not seeing Bo Nickal minus 150 for KO and then like minus 210 for inside the distance for the first time ever in his career. And now's the time to bet the decision, I think. What do you think?
Yeah. I don't know. It's a tough fight to be very confident in, honestly. Like Nickal hasn't really shown me anything to justify being a big favorite. Like I haven't been impressed by any of his performances, honestly. And I do think he's going to have like a big speed advantage early, but I just don't trust his fight IQ. Like Rodolfo, he's had some pretty poor performances, some ho-hum performances, but he's crafty. And if Nickal makes the wrong decision in the grappling realm, I could see Vieira grabbing a submission. I could also see this being a low tempo kickboxing fight that goes 15 minutes. I could see Nickal, landing something big and knocking him out in round 1 because Brundage had him rocked a couple times in round 1 and he's getting up there in age. And, Nickal's got some speed early. The Paul Craig striking match wasn't impressive, though. I think he should have shown out a little bit better if he was the goods. And then the terrible decision making against RDR. Like, I don't see how you could trust this guy at Big Juice personally. So I'm not going to get involved with this fight.
All right, Draw, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I share the same sentiment to Pepe on this one. I think Bo is obviously the better wrestler. On the feet, I just don't really know what's going to happen here. I feel like they're gonna strike and it's gonna be competitive. And I think Bo, as the fight extends, maybe he can get takedowns and not be scared of Vieira ground game. But he has shown to, like, when people are good off their back, like Paul Craig, he has shown good fight IQ to not go to the ground. And I think his last fight obviously was not a great look, but I feel like people are gonna try to fade him a lot after that fight against lower level competition, and he's not going to lose until he get a big step up again. So I don't want to fade him personally. I think he wins here, but I don't think he finished. So I think it's Bo by decision.
Yeah, I tend to agree with Bo by decision. I think, what was it? Last I looked, I thought it was plus 175, I thought, maybe. I think this is the time to bet it. Bo Nickal's plus 205 to win inside the distance. Decision. I'm sorry, it's plus 150. Now it's plus 135. Yeah, I think Nickal wins a decision here. I mean, he probably won't sub Vieira. Vieira is relatively durable, and Bo Nickal hasn't impressed me with anything on the feet. I mean, the guy couldn't knock out the ghost of Paul Craig. So, Now you're going to knock out Rodolfo Vieira? Probably not. You're only good as your last fight, and he got finished. So, yeah, Bo Nickal by decision. What do you think, Key?
Yeah, I think it's like really funny how Bo has like become such a like garbage storyline in the UFC after so much hype, and like it feels like we've like they
He also takes so much time off between fights for a guy who's supposed to be like skyrocketing his career.
And he is like the least entertaining guy on the mic. Like he couldn't make anybody fucking excited over nothing. So it feels like he's just a boring personality mixed with the fact that he talked a big game, talking about he's going to be a minus however much favorite in his first title fight, and he would
He's going to be
Hamzat and like all the shit. And then like pretty much just gets absolutely melted by RDR. Very like embarrassing fashion too. So I think this guy is we're gonna look back on Bo Nickal's career like 5 years from now, and like we're gonna think about like how failed of like a project this was. But I think that here, I don't know. I feel the same as Chepe. He doesn't excite me at all. Hasn't ever really been very impressive. Rodolfo did show a really good jab and a somewhat measured game last time out against Tresean Gore, but that's Tresean Gore. So I don't know. Bo's doing fucking wrestling matches in his time off and doing everything but getting better at the sport of MMA. So I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna pass on this fight.
Over a lot. I mean, I don't know what the over number is. I'm sure that's fine. Fight goes the distance. I tend to agree. What's with all the douchebags in the chat? Who knows? Another fight to work on his striking skills. Tend to agree. Hope Bo loses again. A lot of people do. Bet of the year, RDR. Punches, grappled. Great. If Bo goes for a guillotine again and loses top position, TV is getting thrown. Bo's a fraud. I'll never bet him. He's not a real fighter. Yeah, guys, we're going on the main card. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We got good guests for you guys for the rest of the year. We're trying to get to 1,000 subs. And I mean, listen, we make you guys money every week. If you just take the bets that we give, just money line and play them, you'll probably make money every card. Just not mine. This is a hard fight for Bo, I think. Bo decision's nice. I tend to agree. He lost Petrosky. He's terrible. Style makes fights. Bo Nickal better not mention Hamzat again. RDR knee gets everyone. But what's happening, Lou? Hope all's been well, brother. Bo to win and thank Jesus is minus 105. Vieira plus 194 sounds good to me. I don't think so. All right, main event time. Ben Dariush versus Benoit Saint Denis. God of War 15-3. Beneil Dariush 23-6. Odds on these two gentlemen. You can get GM. You can get GM3. You get BSD minus 186. You get Beneil Dariush plus 161. Drav. I mean, I'm gonna let you start with this because we got your fellow Frenchman. You know, we're gonna hear you talk about Nickal, his new coach, for about 15 minutes. Great, fantastic. So we'll cut that part out. I mean, 3 years ago, this line on Benny's probably generational wealth, but at this point, he's getting hurt by Renato Moicano, and Benoit's been improving. So what do you think here? Is Benoit Saint Denis minus 180 free?
I don't know about free. But yeah, I mean, Benny has issues with his durability at this stage. And even this last fight against Moicano, he got hurt bad. We know Moicano is not known to hurt a lot of guys. And yeah, I think BSD is fucking mean, man. In the clinch with those elbows, with those head kick, with those body kick. And his last performance was a masterclass. You can say what you want about Nickal and what I said about him, but you were more than happy. You were more than happy to tell at the time, right? So when I was talking about him and how good of a coach he was, and I said that he was a better coach than the guys at Fighting Nerds. You know what happened that night? He beat the Fighting Nerds, right? So he's probably one of the best coach in MMA right now. And BSD being under him is really good. You know what happened after? He had a masterclass. Him and Ruffy was not even close. And I was hearing, I know, Pepe, you were also on BSD. So everybody was saying Ruffy's going to knock him the fuck out all week, right? And his last fight, the fight was not even close. He looked minus 400, if not more. So the guy is fucking good, and he's only getting better with good preparation. So they're gonna know that Benny can't take a punch anymore. You know what? Benny's been subbed before by real Choke with KSL on his back. BSD is nasty in that position, and he has a nasty choke. So I wouldn't rule out BSD subbing Benny this week, but I think he's gonna knock
I
him
think
out.
the KO is the way to play it.
Yeah, bro. KO is plus 160 and ITD is like plus 100, plus 110. So I think you don't play the KO at this price. You just go with under, or you play some props on the BSD side. Yeah, I mean Benny can maybe win a decision out grappling him, getting a couple takedowns, but I think his cardio is failing him, his durability is failing him, and he looked washed to me in his last fight. Where BSD is only getting better, and he's still young. He's like 29. And yeah, I think he's gonna finish Benil Dariush this weekend and go up the ranking.
Yeah, that's the thing too. What I like about BSD, obviously former special forces, he's just a nasty fighter. Where like he's going out there, he's trying to finish the fight. Sometimes you watch fighters where it's kind of like they hit a little bit of adversity. They're like, all right, maybe I'll try and point fight, win a decision, or I'll play this smart, win a decision. BSD is always going for the finish. So I think he knocks out Benil Dariush here. They're new, like I said, he's getting knocked down by Renato Moicano. Honestly, I was on Benil Dariush versus Renato Moicano. I just think Moicano sucks more. And I mean, obviously, people are concerned about BSD's chin because they watched Dustin Poirier knock him out. Dustin Poirier hit him with like a picture-perfect hook while he had staff on his home turf, and it's Dustin Poirier. We're not talking about Benny Dariush. I think money line on Benil is fine. I'm sorry, money line on BSD is fine. I think KO plus 160 is definitely fine. I think he makes this look pretty easy. I don't know what the over-under is. I know Jav mentioned the under. I don't know what that is, though. What is that, Jav?
The under 1.5 is it's plus 130 now. I don't like it as much, but yeah.
All right, I'm going to address this real quick. Everyone's talking about if he beat the dog shot. Okay, so he 10-8 him in round 1, and then round 2 started, and Benoit Saint Denis won round 2 with one eye, and Renato was starting to wilt, and the doctor had to stop that fight. If he didn't stop it, I have a feeling BSD probably would have won that fight outright.
Well, it doesn't change the fact that he got completely fucking dominated in round 1.
No, I said 10-8.
It's not a good look.
10-8.
It's not a good look.
It was not a great look, but I would say he gone into this fight with no coach at all. He went by himself, trying to coach himself. Didn't work out well.
Even uncoached, he should be able to know how to get out of those positions.
Yeah, but Moicano early, when he gets to the top or the back, he's really fucking good, man.
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree.
But it was a bad look anyway.
I think if they run it back, BSD probably knocks him out.
I mean, he didn't even come close to a knockout, so I don't see why you would say that. I don't really. His striking's not that good. I think he could overwhelm Benny early and get him against the cage and hit him with some elbows and kind of just create chaos. And he's way more fast and way more athletic, but his striking is still dog shit. There's a reason why everyone was playing Hoofy in the last fight. Like, I was on Benoit huge against Hoofy, but this is a completely different matchup. Like, he was able to expose someone who didn't have grappling. Benny is the more skilled fighter here, but it's just whether
hardware.
Yeah. He is obvious. He got knocked out by fucking Oliveira and Armin Tsarukyan and dropped by Moicano, but that was a fucking clean overhand. And it's definitely super live for Benoit to knock him out early for sure. But if this fight gets into round 2 or round 3, Dariush is the better grappler. I think he can get on top. I haven't seen Saint Denis demonstrate good cardio over 15 minutes. In a lot of his wins, he's the big underdog, and when he's a favorite, you want to jump sides. I get Dariush is probably washed, but I'm staying away from Saint Denis money line. Honestly, I think it's a volatile fight.
Fair. Key, what do you think?
Yeah, going into tape, I was a little more excited about BSD. And Dariush, I think is pretty close to being just completely washed. And I say that as a person that backed him last time out against Hanato. But I thought that was simply just due to the fact that he was a better grappler. And I thought that he would be the better guy on the feet. And he did. He outlanded outside of getting bonked. I mean, he looked really good in that fight. I faced some of those same issues here with BSD. I do think that Dariush is a better grappler. And I think that this line kind of feels like we're assuming the BSD apes him early. And in that case, just play the props. Like, I don't think that there's really much need to eat the money line. And I say that somebody that backed BSD at plus 170 against Rufi last time out. So I think that, again, BSD is a guy, as Pepe just said, I'd like to back him as a dog, always will. But as a favorite, with the way that he fights, I'll pass. Because it feels like you are getting into territories of the non-somewhat kind of fight where you're sitting there thinking like, why? Like how is this happening? So I think that Benny has the skills still. It's just a decider of if he's completely washed. And I think you play the props to find out. You don't play money line in this instance. So yeah, my pick still is BSD KO. It's just I'm not willing to eat the money line at this price.
All right. Over 1.5. He's old. Benny starting with his chin. All right, we kind of went through these comments already. BSD should be minus 300. That's interesting. I don't know about that. BSD by KO is fine for me. I think BSD by KO is good. All right, next fight we have is our second fight of the night. Another guy who I think wins by KO is Carlos Prates. We got Carlos Prates versus Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards is 22-5. Carlos Prates 22-7. Number 3 versus number 8. Odds on these two gentlemen, you can get Prates minus 190. You get Leon Edwards plus 165. This is a striker's delight here, but something's telling me Leon Edwards is going to have to grapple to try and win because I don't know many people who win a striking fight against Carlos Prates, especially over the course of 3 rounds, 5 rounds, whatever you want to call it. I like Prates by KO. I mean, it always prints almost every one of his fights till it doesn't. I also think Leon's kind of washed. We're watching him get hurt by Nate Diaz. Key, I'm going to have you go first. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't like Leon at all. And honestly, in hindsight, he ends up looking kind of funny in the light whenever you put everything on the table. But he's a good fighter whenever he gets to fight on his terms. It's just that he has not gotten to fight on his terms in a while now. I think that he fought Usman at the perfect time. And I mean, what does Leon turn into without that head kick? I mean, title defense over Usman in a fight that he fouled his ass off in, and then a Colby performance. And then from there, he's just been pretty much, to some extent, dominating. I know he had moments of back takes against Bilal, and that performance wasn't as bad as everybody thought. But the Sean Brady performance really was that bad. I mean, the guy was shooting on Sean Brady. Like, he just seemed completely out of sorts. He's talking this shit, seeming like he's ready to have a striker again. Prates is nasty. And I think that Leon will wrestle a good little bit here. I can see him taking the back of Prates, which is why I'm not running to back Prates at minus 190. As a guy that, yeah, he did start faster, much faster against Jeff Neal, but he looked like he did not respect Jeff Neal much at all. In this fight, I expect for him to show at least a little bit more respect to Leon. And if Leon gets the pace that he wants, which is a slow to mid-pace tempo kickboxing match with some clinching and cage pushing and back takes mixed in, I think we could see Leon eke this fight out. But me personally, I think that if you're looking to play Prates, there's another fight where, again, I think you have to look at props. I don't think this is one that you eat the money line if you are a Prates guy. So I think the Prates gets it done. I do think by KO. Leon's chin has looked funny in the light whenever he's been touched up. Not the best reactions to getting hit. It'll be interesting to see what happens whenever he has to deal with some adversity in this fight. because I know that the head kick is amazing and etched in stone in history. It's a legendary moment in MMA history, but like, dog, outside of that, are we really talking like Leon is this guy that has balls of steel and then answers to every call from adversity? Not really. So I'll pass on this fight. We'll see if I play any protest props, but this feels like it can go a couple different ways, and I'm just hopeful that Leon does not get the grappling off.
I saw people making a case for Prates sub, and I thought that was funny. People will try and find any way to bet. Prates sub is like plus 2,200. Don't see it happening.
We're Jewish better when you need them.
I know, right? I don't know. Someone said, "What's Prates finish only?" Prates minus 260. I don't know how you could say that. I don't know. I think it's too much chalk. Prates spread minus 110. Probably not. I don't know. I think you just play Prates by KO plus 160. I'm going to stick with that. Pepe, what are you thinking here, man?
I don't know. I kind of feel like it might go the distance just because Leon doesn't really engage that much, and it's a big cage. And like in the Gary fight, when Prates couldn't close the distance really easily, it sailed over. So I feel like with the KO, like he does have the power to like obviously do it, but I don't know. Leon doesn't fight into like an under or anything like that. Like that's just not his game. So like I struggle to see like a ton of opportunities for him to get a finish. And, Leon's never been knocked out. So I don't know. He could get it, but I feel like that could be bait too. I don't know, man. I'm not going to bet this fight either. Gun to head, I would say Prates wins, but Leon could definitely mix in the grappling, and I kind of feel like it's going to be super close fight, especially early. So yeah, I don't have too much to say here.
Drav?
Yeah, I feel like Prates is going to be the first one to knock him out this week, but I don't really like the price. So I want to think about it a little bit more. But I also think Leon can maybe take him down. But what I've seen from Prates, I don't think Leon's going to have an easy time holding him down because Prates, yeah, that's true. I mean, so one thing I've noticed with Leon is he fought a bunch of grappler. When's the last time he fought a good or dangerous striker? I mean, he fought Luque back in the day, right?
Yeah, Luque.
Prime Luque. But like he got
at one point.
I don't think he fought Wonder
No,
Boy.
I don't think he did.
So yeah, there is a lot of fights where he got hurt where it was not a good look, right? Obviously, the Barberena fight that Dan mentioned, the round 5, I think, against Nate Diaz, or round 4, I'm not sure. He got fucking rocked. I don't like to see that. Usman wobble him a couple times. Even Bilal Muhammad wobble him. So it's just, I don't think his chin is the best, and he can be hurt. He can be pressure, and almost every fight he end up is back against the fence. And if that happened against Prates, he has some nasty knees, and his left hand is a piston. So I really don't see Leon being able to take those shots for long. And Prates has that nasty head kick again. But I can see it being similar to the Ian Gary fight, but at the same time, I don't think that Leon has the same footwork of a Ian Gary. And I think his chin is a bit worse as well. So Gary shoot like 19 takedowns in that fight, but every time that he got Prates down, which was not a lot, I think 3 times, Prates shown really good urgency to get back up every time, like floor is lava. So I think Leon can maybe take the back in that situation, but if he does not, I think on the feet, Leon is going to land the kicks and, chill at distance, but he's not going to maintain distance for long. My worry is maybe Prates is too low volume and he's worried about the takedowns or something like that. But I mean, honestly, I think that he's the guy that can hurt and knock out Leon. I don't give much finishing upside to Leon, but I definitely think he can win a decision here if he grapple enough. And, he's not a bum on the feet. Obviously, he's a good striker, but he's so close margins. And again, he has not fight these type of fights before in a long time. So I'm like, is his striking going to look better because he doesn't have the takedown threat against him? Or is his striking maybe a bit overrated now because he's fighting a bunch of grappler with not much power and he's still getting hurt in some of these fights? So I think Prates hit different, honestly. So if he connect with a big left hand on his chin or a big knee or a big head kick, I'm pretty sure he's gonna wobble him. And then Leon, like you guys said, he can be broken in the cage, man. So I think Prates can broke him, and I don't like where he's at in his career anymore at this point. So yeah, what do you guys think about Prates KO? It's plus 165. I think it's the finishing upside of the fight, but it's not great. But like, I still think it's kind of
2-3 might be greedy, but it's probably more likely in 2-3.
I did look into it, but Prates is normally a round 1 and 2 guys. He only has one round 3 KOs. 16 of them are.
But he's faced a pretty lower level of competition relative to Leon, though. To be fair,
that's true. So yeah,
I guess his KO is fine. I think he finishes on pretty.
It's just paying plus 165 when the guy's never been KO'd is it's kind of hard. You know what I mean? So, but I still like it, so I'm gonna think about it more and decide what I do.
It's also called Prates, though. So like,
because I don't really want to lay the money line because if he doesn't get those big moments. If that big KO doesn't come, then I think Leon can have success and bang some top time maybe.
Yeah, over. Everyone can take down low output. Somehow Leon decision. Way too much chalk. I think Prates, no way Prince fight is good. No, it's minus 260. Finish only is minus 310. Under 2.5. G-Rod minus 185 plus 105. Interesting. No, he has been KO'd. Prates by flying knee. Prates plus 160 is a gift. Leon wins round 1 at a high clip, considering playing Prates after round 1.
I don't really think he wins round 1 at a high clip. I would not say that.
No, I don't. I tend to agree. Leon's getting slapped. I like Leon here. Champ with Leon. Leon has a perfect style to beat Prates.
Yeah, in a certain way, I can agree, but it's just that he gets back up against the fence way too much. And Prates is going to land those big shots. And then what? Is he going to take those shots and be fine? I mean, this
nobody
dude,
has.
He hit fucking hard, man. He hit different. I really like.
Yeah, it's a shame that Ian Gary weaseled his way out of that.
I mean, bro, honestly, Ian Gary fought like a perfect fight the first 3 rounds. It was kind of a masterclass, but Prates was so hesitant.
Yeah.
But man, I mean, people shit on Gary. He's so good. But yeah, again.
All right. Sean Brady versus Michael Morales. Morales 18-0, undefeated. Sean Brady 18-1. Odds in these two gentlemen. Brady's minus 135. Michael Morales plus 115. This is another fight that we've seen people time and time again talking about, arguing about on Twitter. Pepe, I'm going to have you go first here. So far, we've watched Sean Brady pretty much prison fuck everyone who's been put in front of him. Now we got him going against Michael Morales, a guy who's been taken down by both Fugit, been taken down multiple times like Gilbert Burns. What tells you that there's any value in Morales at plus 115 when Brady's the much better grappler and probably more?
Well, I mean, you're lying because he didn't prison fuck Gilbert Burns. He didn't prison fuck Bilal Muhammad. He didn't prison fuck Michael Chiesa.
No, sorry. So Chiesa is a good one to bring up. So I've heard a lot of people this week talk about Chiesa winning that last exchange. Other than that, Brady won the fight. Like when he hurt him in the 3rd round, I heard a lot.
Congrats, he beat Michael Chiesa.
I don't know. Tell us about Morales, man. Tell me more.
Okay. Yeah, I played Morales at plus 130 because I believe that he has potential championship upside. 26 years old, freak athleticism is the new meta in MMA. Like, and going back and watching the Gilbert fight, like, yeah, Brady's grappling is fucking good, but like his wrestling's really not that good. Like he was closing the distance and clinching, and he didn't dominate Gilbert Burns at all. Like he took him down a couple times. Gilbert was able to get right back up. And then Morales fights Gilbert. He knocks him the fuck out in like a minute and a half. Like I don't think Brady is going to be able to be safe on the feet with Morales. And like there's the big question mark of the fight is how is Morales going to react if he's, flat on his back? And that's something that you have to take on the risk for in this particular matchup. But I think with how athletic and how physical, how strong he is, I don't think it's going to be super easy for Brady to just ragdoll him. Like, I think Morales is going to cause him a ton of issues on the feet. He's way bigger, way faster. Brady, people are talking about Brady's striking has improved. Like, dude, he was like, his striking did not look that good against Gilbert Burns if you go back and watch it. Like, he's not going to be able to do that with Morales. Like, if Morales touches him, I think he's gonna be in a world of trouble, and takedowns are gonna be absolute desperation. So I really think that Brady's gonna have to get him down early and submit him to win this fight. I mean, obviously he could, potentially grapple fuck him for a decision, but honestly, I think the upside is on the Morales side. They have a common opponent, Gilbert Burns. Morales was minus 1,000 to him. Brady was minus 180. 6 years younger, way more athletic, hits way harder, and he's the underdog. I like Morales quite a bit.
What are you thinking, Droff?
I mean, what's your counter argument to Pepe first?
I mean, I pretty much gave mine in the beginning. I think that we've seen Morales take it down multiple times. I mean, we've seen him. I mean, I also think the guy in Gilbert Burns that they fought were two different guys. One was pre-podcast, one was post-podcast. So I think they're different career trajectories at that point. Watching what Sean Brady just did to Leon Edwards, I think was very impressive. Also, I mean, like I said, like Burns was taking him down with relatively easy takedowns. They were like single legs and just turning the corner. It wasn't like it was like a crazy set up takedown. That's my counter argument for that.
I mean, you're acting like Burns was able to grapple him.
I just feel like, I mean, the grappling, not that much. It was just the takedowns for me. I just think that the top time of Sean Brady's is a lot more dominant than Gilbert Burns is at this rate in his career. That would be my argument there.
Well, yeah, no one's arguing that, but Burns didn't have any success against Morales.
But I'm saying the takedowns came too easy is my point for a guy who is an Ecuadorian national champion wrestler. I mean, he's been taken down by Fugat as well with a single double leg. My thing is, I don't think Brady's going to go for, an open mat takedown. I think he's going to push him up against the cage and then get a takedown from there or go take the back from there. And I think once it's in, I mean, what does Morales' sub defense look like long term over like a long exchange? We don't really know. And he's going against a guy in Sean Brady who will pull into half guard, set up something like a Kimura or I don't even know what to call that alternated like guillotine he set up against Leon Edwards. But I mean, Brady just levels above him on the grappling here. But this is like probably one of the best matchups we have on this card, where it's a striker's delight versus a grappler. It's pretty dynamic, and I tend to take the grappler at slight favorite odds in most matchups. But I do agree. If we're talking about athleticism, if it's stuck on the feet, it's going to be Morales all day. But
yeah,
it's going to be Brady.
It's super binary.
Exactly. It's if you want the grappler or do you want the striker? That's pretty much what it is. Because if it takes place in either of their worlds, one of them is going to look big favorite. That's kind of my take on it. I just like grappling more personally. What do you think, Droff?
Yeah, I'm gonna just start by saying this. It's a fucking great fight, and no matter on what side you're on this fight, I think you can make very good arguments, and I don't think you're wrong, honestly. Like, both of these guys could be champion to me. They're both fucking good. It's a matter of a fact. Do you think Brady can get takedowns or not? That's really the way it is to me when I break this fight down. It's kind of simple because if he does not get takedowns, I know his striking is getting better and stuff like that. But I mean, Morales is way better on the feet. It's not very close. And he hit very hard, and he's a specimen. But I think one thing in this matchup that's getting a little bit underrated is Sean Brady physicality in general. I know he's smaller than Morales, but he's very fucking strong, especially when he gets on top. His top game to me is one of the best in the UFC. Like if he gets on top or he gets your back, or he has a really nice, really tight squeeze, and he's really fucking good from top position. So yeah, the Leon Edwards fight. I mean, yeah, Leon made a career of beating good grappler and good wrestler because of his takedown defense and stuff like that. He got good recently, and Sean Brady just mauled him. It was not even close. It was impressive to me. And even on the feet, he's way more comfortable now that he used to be. Yes, the Bilal fight is not the best look, but he was doing good, honestly, until he got broken in that fight, to me at least. And you remember, it's a guy that had the same problem with DDP with his nose, and he got it fixed, and his cardio is looking better after the Kiesa fight. He had like a bad look in round 3, but he went 5 rounds and looked great. He went 5 rounds twice, so I think his cardio is more proven than Morales is personally. And I think Morales, with all the weight that he cut and with his body type, if he's in a fight that he needs to grapple defensively a lot in, and he doesn't have much success, let's say, I think he could slow down as the fight goes. But then you can say, oh yeah, but if Brady can get takedown and use a lot of energy, he can also slow down because of that. So I mean, it can go both ways. But the way I see this fight playing out is I think Brady's going to take him down personally. Whether it is 1, 2, 3 takedowns, I'm not too sure about. But I do think it's a big step up in competition for Michael Morales. At the end of the day, Brady fought, he fought Bilal, he fought Leon, he fought good guys, and Morales, wins against, Wash Gilbert Burn, Wash Neil Magny, Adam Fugit, Trevin Giles, and stuff like that. It doesn't really move me. And my issue is the way Trevin Giles took him down and went right away to arm triangle position. I mean, he reversed him, but if Sean Brady gets to a similar position, he's not going to reverse him. And, Adam Fugit, he got like 3. It's not really that Adam Fugit took him down. My issue is that Adam Fugit took like 3 minutes of top time against him, and he couldn't really get back up. He was kind of looked like he didn't really know what to do. So if Sean Brady take him down, I think he can beat the round. And nobody also has tested Morales' submission defense. So Sean Brady can be the first one to do it. If he's on his back and has his neck and stuff like that, I don't even know what that's going to look like for Morales. I've not seen it before. So I think Morales can hurt Sean Brady. I think he can knock him out. But if he does not, I think as the fight extends and overall, I think Brady is the much better minute winner. And I think Morales has not fought a grappler like that in his entire career. And I think that Brady, again, physicality has been a bit underrated this week. And he's just a bit more proven to me. So I think Brady's going to get the grappling going and probably win a decision. But if he finds a submission, it would not shock me personally. So yeah, fucking great fight. I'm very excited for this one. And I really hope that the winner of this fight get the next title shot against the winner of the main event. Key, what you got?
Thanks, Dravo. I said it, and my mic was muted.
Yeah, I haven't finished taking this fight. I can see arguments for both sides, which will probably lead me to gladly passing.
What do you think of this?
Morales side.
Yeah, it's great.
I kind of tend to like it too, honestly.
Yeah, because whoever can get their game going might look like a big favorite and can finish in that scenario.
Oh yeah, they will.
I think Morales has wider margins for error than Sean Brady in this fight, which is why I can't back Sean Brady as a favorite. Pick wise, I'll go with Morales off athleticism and upside. But Sean Brady, if he does get him down early, it will be problematic. So it's a pass for me right now.
All right, let's take a look. Where are we at here? We got a lot of comments on this one. What's happening, Jewish Better? We were just talking about Carlos Prates plus 2,000 for the sub. Let us know what you think. Pepe isn't putting up with peg shit. He never does. Brady getting the stand TKO whipped by Bilal will never sit right with me. I mean, his O had to go. I think that's kind of he talks about that a bunch. Morales KO plus 380. I don't hate that price at all. I knew this guy was going to be on the trans dancer. I think that's like, isn't it? I think it's a national holiday in this country for women who are abused. I think I read a background story on that because all him and his boys are all dressed up, cross-dressing. It's for like beating women or some shit. So you got to, check your facts and stuff. Ali and Brady, one of them, this fight Morales freak athlete. Rip Head Morales, got to remember the breakdown. Morales KO 1-2. Okay. Bro, sublive Burns. It was Burns' last 2 fights. Morales hammered Burns. I thought we got him down too. It's probably a while ago, so he's probably greatly improved. Brady sub won't be that. This won't be as that close as we think. Burns didn't take Morales down at all. I mean, I don't know if we watched the same thing. Never bet a guy dancing in a dress. Burns just covered up. We saw what it did for De La Hoya. Brady by boring decision, 29-28. I mean, that's possible. Yep, but then the lean grapplers in close matchups seems to be, a more successful path. I like the under, KO, great fight. I mean, this card, it's really hard to pick a lot of these. Violence card makes sense. Leon's last fight was so impressive. I tend to agree. Any minus 500s you like in this one, Peg? Every man abuses their woman in Ecuador. I did not know that. Interesting stuff.
Yeah, we actually got more than 100 viewers on YouTube. We have 107 viewers. So just want to say thanks to Pepe for joining us for this card, one of the best card of the year, and we're about to break down some insane matchup. I can't wait to know what Key and Pepe is going to have to say about this next fight. But make sure you guys are smashing that like button and also subscribing to the channel. We want to break that 1K subscriber before the end of the year. We're at 932 right now, and we're going to have good guests till the end of the year. So if you're watching that video, make sure you subscribe right now, and then let's get to those breakdowns.
All right. So Eastern European, Chinese.
No, Peg, we can't do that on that fight. Just scroll up. We got to do it the right way for that one.
I'm just mentioning we got.
I don't think Key and Pepe is gonna let you do that for this one.
We have.
So make sure you do it.
We have
the right way.
Palette of feet this card between Hispanic, Black, Chinese, Eastern European, Jersey, like the list goes on. Shevchenko, Wiley Zhang. Don't really have to introduce either lady here, right? Odds pretty much a straight pick 'em, right? It's minus 130 for Shevchenko.
Straight pick 'em.
Plus 110 for Zhang. Basically a pick 'em. It's chump change to me. Looking at it,
20 cents.
I mean, looking at it, the fight is pretty close as it comes. We know Zhang is going up in weight. I mean, if she fought Dern tomorrow, who knows what she would do to Dern. But luckily for Dern, she's fighting Valentina. Key, I'm going to have you go first here. Shevchenko, Zhang, the over. I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? It's got to be the over.
I don't know. This is a weird fight for me to cap. A tough fight for me to cap. I went into tape wanting to back Zhang, and I still may get to that spot. I think it's Zhang or pass for me personally. It kind of depends on how the grappling plays out, and I'm unsure of how the grappling plays out. We have seen Zhang have some bad moments on bottom, and that's not even going back as far as to the Rose fight where she couldn't get up in one of those rounds. I think that there's just been some questionable moments, and while she has made a lot of improvements, she's showing it versus Yan Xiaonan, who is arm barring herself, and Amanda Lemos, who has not been able to grapple her whole career. So that is just kind of tough. Like maybe she can get the back on Shevchenko. But is Weili's physicality going to translate like the same way of like a Tyler Santos at that time? I don't know. I think that Weili is an obvious lab experiment and is, insane physicality for 115. And I don't expect for her to get little girled here at 125. I also don't expect for her to have the same dominance that she had at 115 over some of those girls. And against some of those girls, she was getting like just having get out of jail free cards of just like, I'm bigger, stronger than you, and a better grappler. Like, haha. And I don't think that that's going to play out here with Shevchenko. On the feet, Weili is still, she throws everything in every shot still. Her cardio isn't bad. She's caught her second win in a lot of fights. And she finished Yan Xiaonan 1,000 times in that fight and had her out, and that fight wasn't stopped. So there's a lot of weirdness along the way. On the Val side, I think that she's been sort of getting away off of some thin margins. If she doesn't bonk Manon in round 4, Manon is champion right now. I believe against Alexa Grasso, I didn't think that she should have ever lost against her to begin with. The second fight was a robbery, round 5, 10-8, blah, 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 that whole BS. So she deservedly won the trilogy. And then the Tyler Santos fight, bad look. And then from there, then we start getting back into what people would think of as like the prime Valentina run. And against those girls, it's just those are people that aren't any sort of comparable to Weili. So this is a really weird fight to cap for me. So again, I'm going to pick Weili. I think that she's the more dominant fighter. I don't feel overly good or easy about this fight. I think that we could see both have grappling success in this fight. And I'm interested to see what this looks like over 5 rounds. I think that this is an interesting fight. On the feet, I don't expect for Val to have a bunch of good moments. Manon is kind of stiff as a board at times in terms of head movement on the feet, and especially in that fight, she looked career worst on the feet. And so Val's not going to have the speed advantage with her hands. It's just a lot of weirdness for me to cap here. So right now I'm passing. I may get to a Zhang spot. I'm definitely not betting Val at minus 130. But I think that both could have success. I think this plays out as a 48-47 type of fight.
Pepe.
What percent chance do you think to go the distance?
Are you talking to me?
No, Key.
You don't want to hear what I think?
I'd probably say 75.
I was going to say 76.
Yeah. I played the GTD on Rivers at minus 192 earlier today.
That's a good number.
Yeah, I don't really see I'm around the same with like 75%, which means there's a ton of value. Yeah, I don't really see a finish happening here, and I think they're going to show each other a lot of respect. I think there's a lot of mutual respect here. They're both getting up there in age. Shev didn't sniff a finish against Grasso in 14 rounds of fighting. She's a point fighter at this point in her career, which she's done really well at perfecting the point fighting. She's super technical, way more technical than Weili. I think the biggest issue, obviously, if you're betting Weili is, Val could probably take her down, and she's not great off of her back. So that's why. Yeah, I lean Shevchenko to win this fight because, she's fought the better level of competition. Furo is way better than the people that Weili is fighting. Come on. Like, having a close fight with Furo is not anything to, be ashamed of. I think that's a good thing. So the fact that she fought so close with Furo over 5 is, a good testament to how good she is. And, I think Furo is a bit better than Weili. And I think it's going up in weight too. I don't really trust Weili to have the physicality like she generally does. Valentina has gone up to 135 and fought Nunez before multiple times. So it is a weird fight. I could see some weird scorecards too. So I just think I like GTD on this. What about you, Drav?
Yeah, it's a banger. I actually have a stronger take on the side on this one. I'm gonna post it on Twitter probably tomorrow, so I'll just give it out right there. But I play Weili Zhang at plus 120 in this fight. Yeah, it's a super high level fight, obviously. Super excited for this fight. And I think it's close to a 50-50 fight. I personally lean Weili Zhang. I cap her around 55%. There's two reasons for that. And one of them is the age. I know they're only like 1.5 years apart, but I'm pretty confident in that, what I'm going to say. And I think it's a very important point about this fight. I think Weili Zhang is in her prime right now. And I think I'm pretty confident to say Valentina is not. She's not washed, but she's clearly declining. She's not as good as she was before. Like, I don't think prime Valentina is going to have close fights against Alexa Grasso or losing to Alexa Grasso. You know what I mean? And even as much as I like Manon, I think Valentina in her prime would have done better, right? And one thing about that fight is Manon broke her. Like, Valentina broke Manon's nose in round 1. I think that changed everything about this fight. So, yes, she won, but it was still very close. And if Manon didn't broke his nose early, I think we might have seen a different fight, which is kind of sad to see because, me and Key
Can I interrupt you real quick? Like, don't you think Manon would dunk on Weili?
Yeah, I think she will be too strong for Weili.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think so. But it's a different matchup because what I'm gonna say is I want to talk about the grappling because the grappling is really what's gonna make the difference in this fight. And if you can predict what's gonna happen, I think it's gonna make you win the bet. And what I think can happen here, people talking about Valentina taking Weili down, which I can see, I can understand. But one thing is, I think Weili is actually a fucking freak of an athlete. And I think her moving up is not too bad. And I think that she's way more athletic than Valentina. And I think that she's better in scramble. And I think she can take down Valentina. And you know who's not great off her back as well? Valentina. So who's going to shoot more takedowns here? That's what I'm not too sure about. But Valentina is not good when people get her back. I don't think she's good in that position. And I think Weili is more likely to end up on the back. And also the biggest difference is I think Weili is going to do more damage from top position with those ground and pound compared to Valentina. So I give her more finishing upside overall because if anyone win by submission, I think it's going to be Weili Zhang because I think she's better on the back. We've seen Valentina submitted before. And even against Tyler Santos, I didn't like those reactions sometimes in the grappling. And when girls can match her physicality, we've seen it with Manon, we've seen it with Tyler Santos, we've seen it with who else? I forgot the name. Anyway,
Jennifer Maia?
No. Nunez did, but it was a different weight class. But the Tyler Santos fight, when she was trying to grapple against Valentina, she had a ton of success. Now, I'm not saying Weili is as big as Tyler Santos, but I think she's maybe more athletic. Like, Weili athleticism is insane to me when I watch her, the way she fights. And even I know people saying like, Tatiana is washed and declining. I do agree, but Tatiana is still not an easy fight for anyone. And what she did in round 2 defensively, Weili Zhang, was very impressive to me before Tatiana gas. And she hit one of those, like she reversed Tatiana like she was not strong at all one time in that fight. So I think Weili is, I'm not going to act like she's stronger than Valentina and bigger than Valentina because that's just not true. But I'm confident that she can, A, match Valentina physicality. I'm confident that, B, she can take Valentina down. And I think Valentina can take her down as well. Again, that's why I'm saying it's very close. But if Valentina take down Weili, unless she get her in a crucifix, I don't think she's going to do too much from top or threat submissions. I think Weili can. And on the feet, I think Weili is going to do more pressure. It's going to be more aggressive. And I think she's going to be faster, personally. And might throw harder. Like, she's going to be more mean in the cage. Valentina, way more technical, very good counters. And I think that she can maybe catch Weili with a big head kick or something. But the reasons I kept her Weili about a slight favorite is because, again, I think she's more likely to finish the fight. I think she can match Valentina physicality. I think she's going to be more aggressive in the fight. And you know what? I think she can submit her this week. I think if there's a finish in this fight, I think it's going to be Weili getting that submission. So, yeah, that's my thoughts. I wouldn't be surprised if Valentina hedged a close decision. But if anyone does more damage or finish the fight, I think it's Weili Zhang. And again, I think she's in her prime right now. And I think Valentina is declining. And I've seen it on tapes, clear as day. So, yes, the move up in weight is a concern. But it might be good for her as well. We don't really know, right? She doesn't have to cut as much weight. She looked like she put on some muscle. Maybe that's going to affect her speed. We don't really know. But yeah, again, just a close fight. I think in those types of fight where we have two legends, I tend to think they're going to fight to a really close fight. So I tend to lean towards 50-50. But because I think Weili's in her prime, I think she's more likely to finish. I kept her at 55%. So I think plus 110 or better is good for a bet on this fight.
Yeah, I parlayed over 4.5 with Fatima Klein. You get it at like minus 120, both those two combined. So yeah, that's how I played this fight. I see an over at a pretty high clip. Don't see how these girls finish.
It would be so MMA for Weili to sub Valentina when she couldn't sub Lemos or Suarez when they were both gassed out.
Yeah.
I mean, not subbing Suarez is normal to me, honestly. But the other girl, she didn't finish. She literally finished them like 3 times in the same fight.
Oh, Jan Zanon?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Jan one.
It was a submission.
Yeah.
It was a submission. And Amanda Lemma, she won like, what, 50-43?
You better be submitting Jan, though. I mean, Jan's a terrible grappler.
Yeah, I mean, she subbing her, she TKO her, and she won by decision against Jan.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
It's women's MMA for you, man. Let's take a look at the comments. Jewish Better also looking at late sub numbers. Which of Zhang retired double champ? Maybe. Zhang ITD plus 365. Sub plus 900. So Talia Sanders definitely wasn't a camp, but she's on all the juice. Yeah, I think the Treva cooks if she comes to the UFC whenever she decides. Bingo Drav would max bet man over Zhang. The Treva bull fools both these chicks. Can't forget to show how Grosso's going to wrestling. The trilogy has. Yeah, it took for the start round 3. What the hell are the odds on that? 50% chance. We'll go to distance minus 225. Chloe has declined badly over the last 50 years. I kind of tend to agree with that, honestly. Beating Grosso doesn't really impress me.
The way she tapped against Grasso was very suspicious.
My bad. I got to bring my mic closer. I was just looking away while I was talking. Plus, just scrolling through comments, seeing what the people have to say. All right, main event time. Guys, like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks. We appreciate it. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Giacomo Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev. Islam moving up in weight to 170 to contend for the belt. Jack's first title defense is against the scary Islam Makhachev. Line on these two gentlemen, you can get Jack Della Maddalena plus 210. Actually, it's plus 225 now. You can get Islam minus 265. Drav, actually, you know what? Pepe, you're going first. Fuck it.
Okay, here's my narrative for the fight. I think remember how they were like, "Oh, Islam won't fight Bilal
Yeah.
if Bilal's the champ." So they're like, "Okay, let's get a different champ in here." Bilal, put on a striking clinic with JDM and let's see what happens. I think that this is a very winnable fight for Islam. I agree with the line. I think that Makhachev is going to be able to get his grappling going and submit JDM and then fight create the super fight with Topuria after he wins his fight. I'll keep it short and sweet. It's hard to really quantify how often he does it. Like I feel like that's kind of difficult if you're picking Islam to win. It's hard to quantify what number you're comfortable playing him to. I'm just going to enjoy this one as a fan. Makhachev is, pound for pound number one probably, and someone who I've always loved betting on. And this is arguably one of the best prices that he's been. So he's a little tempting, but I'm just going to pass and watch this fight.
What do you think about the size of JDM and him moving up in weight? That's kind of the only thing that's kept me away from saying Islam should be minus 500.
Well, we'll find out. You can't know until we're in there. He's in there, but
he looks huge himself.
Yeah, exactly. They don't look like they're in a different, or we're fighting in a different weight class. No, I think everyone knows that Islam was fucking huge.
And like the narrative is like Islam struggled against 145ers being Charles and Volk and guys like that. That's like the narrative I've been seeing.
Charles.
Oh, I'm sorry. He was a 145er.
Well, he didn't struggle with Charles.
No, he knocked him down and then subbed him, but that's besides the point. But I think more of the point was Volk. Like,
Volk. You mean Poirier and Volk?
I'm sorry, Poirier too. Well, Poirier was also a further 145er at one point too. Yeah, Poirier too. Yeah. I think that's people's like takes. They're saying like he struggled to go in deep water with Volk, who's like a smaller guy, and now he's getting Jack, who is a larger guy. So that's the narrative there. I don't know. I think Islam clears.
Volkanovski's also very, very good too.
Yeah, he's one of the best, honestly. Debatably the best 145er.
I think it's good that Jack is training with Volk and Craig Jones because he's felt him in there and he knows what it's like to roll with him. So that'll be to his advantage.
Yeah, I don't know. I agree with you though. I think Islam rolls here. And I was on Jack plus 205 against Bilal.
Yes.
So I agree. I think Islam's just a different beast. I think the grappling's better. I think the submission guy, like Bilal's not dangerous with submissions. Islam is probably one of the most dangerous submission grapplers. If you looked at like they did that squeeze test, and the squeeze on Islam's was stronger than Alex Pereira's squeeze by 6 pounds. So the guy's got unreal strength, got good grappling, and honestly, like Bilal, he is a bad striker and was striking with JDM. Islam's probably one of the better strikers that Jack Della Maddalena had to face here, to be honest with you. So I don't know. I think Islam kind of has him covered everywhere. As long as the size isn't too big of a deal, which I don't think it should be, I think Islam probably wins by sub too. I tend to agree. Yeah, this also, great point. Taking down a guy like Volk with a small center of gravity and small legs, it's pretty tough to get them down. What do you think, Drav? Are you taking a dog shot here on JDM?
Yeah, I don't have a strong take. I don't have a strong take on this fight, honestly. I like Jack. He's made me a ton of money. I usually love to bet him, especially when he's an underdog. But I'll just keep it real. It's fucking hard to bet against Islam Makhachev. You know, he's potentially one of the GOAT, right? He's so good. His grappling is so good. I think he's going to take down GDM. The thing is he going to control him? Because GDM scramble is very good. My worry is he can give up his neck or his back sometimes, and I think Makhachev can maybe catch that. And, you know, his Dariush choke is fucking nasty. But on the feet, I think we got to give some credit to GDM. His boxing is fucking insanely good, man. His body work is very, very good. His volume is good. And If the fight extend in round 3, 4, and 5, and GDM start to rip those combos with those body shots and stuff like that, I mean, I can see Islam having some issues, and we don't know how he's gonna do up a weight class. Obviously, it's a lot of weight, 155 to 170. He's looked like he put on a lot of muscles, which is probably good, but can be also bad for his cardio. But he doesn't have to cut all the way to 155, which was a nasty weight cut for him. So I tend to lean it's going to be good, but it's hard. It's hard to say, but he's not going to be undersized here. That's for sure. And I think Islam striking is also good to compete with Jack. But man, I mean, if Islam can get him down or control him, I think as the fight goes, GDM can start to rip off some nasty combos and maybe finish him later on. That's my worry if I would bet Islam. So I have a couple targets here, and I'm going to let you in. I think Islam win, but I think GDM round 3, 4, and 5 KOs at massive prices makes sense. I think the over 3.5 makes sense. Even GDM decision, it's plus 850. So there's a lot of props that I'm like, I know it's off, but do I want to bet them? I don't really know. I'm gonna need to think about it more. I think Islam win. I think his grappling is just too good. But yeah, Key, what you think?
Yeah, for me, it's JDM or pass pretty clearly. I don't want to back Islam at this number. The Poirier fight was a real bad look to me. Poirier has
staff though.
What?
Islam had staff for the Poirier fight.
I don't give a fuck what he had, but I think that was just an awful look. One, not being able to easily control. I thought I played Islam sub as square as that was. I thought it would have been 2 takedowns max, and the fight was going to be over. And Poirier has old man hips, and I think everybody's known that for years. And yet Poirier was creating some good scrambles and was able to get up and create a fight. I remember Drive having Poirier like big dog numbers there and talking about how good of a fight that was for Poirier. I think
and Peg had Islam ITD. We
both had sub there, I believe.
Yeah, it was like plus 400 Poirier, and it was like
guys win again
round 5.
Yeah, and so I mean the finishing sequence was absolutely gorgeous. I mean,
yeah, that was sick as fuck.
Yeah,
that was one of the best sequences I've seen in a long time. But outside of that, like, it was a really underwhelming performance for Islam. JDM's bigger. He's a more functional boxer. Poirier takes turns boxing every time, and especially later on in his career, it felt like he wanted to pull up his shorts after every single jab he threw. So JDM's the much more functional boxer. He's going to have decent scrambles. I have to imagine Craig Jones and Volk is definitely helping in this camp. We saw the fight that Volk was able to put up being the much smaller guy. I know that there were a lot of outside factors with a short time to rehydrate and IVs and all that shit that was going on in Australia in their first fight. But Islam did not dominate at all. So for me, I think it's JDM or pass. I don't know how to feel because I do think that JDM has some questionable decision-making on the mat, because I think that he rates himself a little bit higher on the mat than he actually is. But I hope that some of that has been cleaned up working with Craig Jones and getting Volk in camp. I think that JDM has the balls. He's built like a champion mentally, it seems. Cool guy. I think that JDM is the side at these types of odds, but I get it. Islam is on his way to being one of the GOATs outside the Martinez flash KO. I mean, he's pitched a perfect game. So I think that this is a tough bet to get to JDM. But for me, it is JDM or pass here.
All right, guys, that's the show. I'm your host, I got your comments. Islam is going to dominate once again, become double champ. I mean, he's not double champ. He doesn't have the 155 belt. Jack was calling out Shavkat. That's crazy. If you think Jack would have beat Brady, Islam's toughest fight is Brady. Thanks for joining us.
I mean, it is Islam versus Brady would be such a sick fight in the grappling. I would love to see that.
I mean, Islam knocks out Brady.
I wouldn't want to see that fight, sadly. Taporia or give me death. Islam's
JDM decision plus 700. I mean, what happens when Islam mogs Taporia? What is
They
it?
have to do Taporia if Islam wins. Like it's like
They're-
one of the only.
Is it at 170 or 155 though?
Islam's not going back to 155.
No, they're talking about Usman versus Islam. Usman calling out. Usman is calling out for that fight, and Islam said he would like to fight him next. So I think they might do that.
So Islam can knock out. What's his name?
Head kick.
Usman, head kick. Yeah, head kick Usman. Like, come on, dude. Usman's gonna be 40 by the time that fight happens. JDM is still plus 200. Thank you. Sorry, Khabib. We have another Dagestan killer here. I mean, dude,
Maybe.
this is just a classic. Y'all must have forgot spot. Islam sub plus 65. Yo, Key, let's run it back. As they say, run it back, Turbo. We could do it. I think we could. We'll run back the sub. Yeah, JDM isn't a big welterweight. No, he's definitely not. There's bigger guys out there. All right. That's the show. Thanks for joining us. Like, comment, subscribe. Pepe, thank you for joining us, bro. We're glad to have you back. I'm sure we'll have you again in the new year. Let's cash some tickets this fight. Thanks, guys. Early Christmas presents on the way. Okay. Thanks. I think I appreciate that, whatever that means. Yeah, that's the show. Thanks for joining us. 2 hours, 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's about time for me to go to bed. Thanks for having me, guys. Super excited for this card. Yeah, let's go, Aaron.
Yeah.
Good luck, Pepe, with your bet. And
You too,
good luck,
sir.
everybody. Great
Yep.
card.
Yep, guys, buy their picks, whatever they do. I mean, Pepe gives them out for free on Twitter. Consensus bet, gotta tail it, always hits. Who's consensus bet this week?
Well, I'm not giving anything out this week. I'm making the people listen to your show.
All right, I like that. All right, gotta listen to the show for consensus bet. Bye. Key's got a dub club, by the way, if you didn't know.